Let's do it.
Audio, somebody said audio is choppy. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you guys can hear me, go ahead and blow up the chat with ones real quick. Show me some love. There you go. We got some ones so y'all can hear me loud and clear. All right, guys. So welcome. So I was talking to Paul and Jamal today, and I think what we're gonna do is for the 6x6, we're gonna kind of use that. I know we changed it from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but we're gonna kind of use that more or less on training because I'm getting a lot of responses where Sunday training is not enough. And we have a lot of folks that's being left behind. And I my thing is, I don't want to leave nobody behind because, I know the feeling in this market when you're lost. Like I said, it took me about 3 months before I even understood what I was looking at. This whole thing looked like an EKG machine for me. So I want to make sure that, folks are not just coming on just to grab pips. Yeah, pips is for you to make money, but you got to understand how you're making it. You have to understand, what moves you're making, when the alerts go off, what you're looking for. We're going to go over all that stuff. All right. So I want to make sure that everybody has an understanding. My only requirement this week for people that was brand new was the folks that invited you to come on this week would take the time out and personally show you how to enter and exit trades. All right. So I want to make sure you guys kept your word. If they didn't keep their word and show you how to enter and exit the trade, I want you to personally call them or send them a text message and tell them you do not thank them for what they've done. They gave you the opportunity this week to have access to it, but they're not showing you what to do. That was my only requirement. Today alone, I kid you not, I had over 700 messages. 700 messages. My phone is swamped. On the simplest things like, how to put in a take profit, how to put in a stop loss. And I answer every single one. But I have to make sure you guys are not just coming on just to catch the quick pips. Yes, it's good, but come on, we have to go to the basics. We kind of laid down a platform where you guys could understand how this thing works. I simplified it. You guys should, you have access to Mr. GJ, pipwalking.com, which is a community where you can watch all the videos following my scalping strategy. You have IML Academy. You have basics that you can watch to understand, what's a take profit, what's a pimp, what's the lot size, all these things. You can teach your way forward to try to, fast forward into basically making a lot of money and you don't have the basic information. I tell people this all the time. If I was a mechanic and you was trying to learn from me how to change a motor and you didn't have the basic information, you didn't have, you didn't know what tools we were using. You didn't know, what type of oil that goes in the motor. I can't even have a conversation with you about changing the motor in a car just because you didn't do the basic information. You didn't have the terminologies, to help you understand, my training. So it's the same thing when you're talking about, trading in the Forex market. If you don't understand, what I'm looking for on an impulse, or if you see the notification says the red line crossing above the blue line crossing below the red, if the RSI cross, if you don't understand that basic information, which is, in my basic training, on going over the impulse, you can expect, when the market is not going to wait on anybody. The market will not wait on nobody. I don't care what nobody tells you. If you can't do this thing fast and consistent, the market will slap you in the face. So don't be in the rush. I promise you, don't be in a rush to go live. Be able to go through your demo and be comfortable entering and exiting a trade. Now, we have a platform, where you guys have access to these trade signals, that's going to help you fast forward, the money you want to earn while you're learning, but, you have to understand how this thing works. There's been folks following me for months, almost 8-9 months with the same strategy that know the strategy inside and out. This morning we had a call and basically, yes, I did not put stop loss and profit, but there was a lot of people that knew that okay, once we get 4 or 5 pips in profit, basically you have to throw that stop loss in profit. You know, we talked about the system and we said, hey, this is in the beta stages. So technically, we're still dealing with the programmers to actually take profits once it makes the call. We went over all of this, you know, and we told you that every take profit that's put in the group, it actually comes from me or Paulo Kello. So here's the thing, just so you guys like to sleep in the morning, I'm knocked out. That's the whole reason I came up with this strategy, because I didn't like to wake up in the morning. So when that alert came out, I woke up the same time too. So if you guys were following the strategy or went over the videos in MrGJPipWalking.com, you would actually know, okay, I don't have to wait for him or the signal to tell me put my stop loss in profit. We just went over a training on Sunday that basically tells you once you get in profit, 4 to 5 pips, you go ahead and you lock that stop loss in profit to protect your account. Don't be greedy. I tell you, every time I tell you guys to write that big, don't be greedy. And then we have a handful of folks that decided that, hey, I'm gonna wait for this 10 pips to hit. And then they got caught in what happened. Stop loss and profit is my go-to. That's my number one thing. My priority is to get into profit and be risk-free in the market. So you have to go through that. And if you don't know how to do that, you know, we did the basics training on Sunday. So every Sunday I go over, I take 2-3 hours every Sunday, and I do trainings every single Sunday for the last 8-9 months to make sure. So you have something to plug into when you're following my strategy. You're not basically just getting trade signals. So here's the thing, you know, we want to make sure everybody have success with this. You know, for the record, this signal still basically it mimics my strategy. So technically, every traded call, and you guys notice we went over the alerts, which and we'll go over that again. I took, you know, and this is what got me upset, because on Sunday we started out with almost 320 people on the call, right? We started through the basics. We went through it so I don't leave anybody behind. Then we went through the spreadsheet. Then we went through the scalping strategy. And by the end of the call, when we were actually going over the alerts, we were at 248 persons. And I made a statement. I said, now there were over 50 persons that did not stay and understand how these alerts are going to work. Now, guess what? Me and Paul, we know how it works. We've been back testing this for months. We know exactly what don't have any drawdowns. We know exactly what's going to have a possible drawdown. I told everybody that was on the call about it. So the 50 persons that did not stay to the end of the call, and the reason I basically combined everything in one on Sunday is because we had a lot of brand new persons that was invited into the training, into this trading group, so they can actually know from the beginning of what is a pip, what is a lot size, and fast forward into what to look for in the alerts. And then we said, make sure you do your demo first before you go live. But there was 50 persons that did not stay on the call, but then when the strategy hit or the alerts hit, my phone is blowing up because they didn't stay and understand what was going on. All right. Now, another thing I want to kind of get on you guys for is, if you're on this call right now, we have 300 persons again on this call, right? Please, please, please. My biggest thing I tell you guys all the time, and I'm passionate right now because, you know, there was a lot of people that was clueless today, a lot of people that was lost, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. The person who actually invited them on, it's that person's fault. Or if you've been following for a while and you basically didn't go through the videos or came on any training, then yes, it's your fault. But what I want you guys to understand this. Every time we jump on this Zoom presentation, this Zoom webinar, and we come on, not just me, you have Jamal or you have any trainer or educator that's actually taking their time out to actually pour into you guys. Please, I know I'm handsome, but don't sit on the call if you have a question and you're lost or confused and don't ask the question. I don't care how many questions you ask. I would stay on this call all night answering questions to make sure I don't leave nobody behind, because I knew how it felt when I didn't know what I was doing. So don't let me sit up here and come on this call for an hour or 2 hours and you're still sitting there lost or confused, and then the call is done and you didn't learn nothing, or you still have a question that wasn't answered. Just open up your mouth. If you don't want nobody to know who you are, you can take the screen off of you and you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question, because I can't leave nobody behind. That's not my MO. You know, if I wanted to leave people behind, I would have been trading by myself a long time ago. So you have to ask the questions. I'm not here to come and look pretty for you guys or look handsome for you guys or coming to see who's checking up the call. My thing is, I need for you guys to understand the strategy, understand what we're doing, and take advantage of it. So please, 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 this is what I'm passionate about, you asking questions if you're lost. Now, my thing is, you could ask a million questions, but don't ask the same question twice, like over and over and over. That's my only thing. But you can ask a million questions. So from here on out, I talked to Jamal and Lyndon, and we said we're going to actually use the next probably week or two of the 6x6 sessions to get through to you guys on what we're looking at in the market or what questions you have. We're going to pour into whatever you need to know. Understand, I don't care if it's going back to the basics or entering and exiting the trade, whatever it is, we're going to use this time instead of just spoiling everybody and just coming on and grabbing pips, and then you don't even know how you caught the pips, or all you know is you jumped on, you made some money, and you were happy. That's not what it's about. Because the minute I start, traveling, or I can't do a session, or somebody can't do a session, guess what? Your money is on hold. You can't make money in the market because you don't know what to do. All right? So I think I said what I wanted to say. So for what we're going to do is I want to see if there's anybody that basically don't know how to even enter exit trade. If you don't know what a pip is, if you don't know what lot size is, please unmute yourself one by one, not all at once. And we're going to use this to basically pour in and help you guys. I know I have Jen on here. I have Andre. Paul is dealing with the muting and stuff. If Jen and Andre, if y'all can help me in the chat, or Matt, I know we have a few people who can help in the chat. Nicole, Oreo, help me out in the chat. And then if you want to ask a question, unmute yourself and talk to me. That's what this is going to be tonight. We're going to get down and understand if it's talking about entering the trade. If you guys have questions on the alerts, we're going to go over all that stuff, because here's the thing. This thing is spitting out pips. All you have to do is be patient and wait for it. We're going to tell you what to look for when you get in these signals. And you can pick and choose. Not every signal you get, that means you need to jump in. You have to look and see, is it okay for you to jump in the market when the signal goes off? So this is what this is going to be, so you guys can understand, what we're doing. All right. So go ahead. The floor is you guys. Ask your questions. You pick my brain.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
You were sending out, I was actually asleep at the time, but I woke up through the signal. And you were sending out a signal. It said 46.100, right? So instead of me just putting that in at take profit, I was looking at the numbers. I was looking at the numbers as far as, why does it say 46.100 and it says maybe 5 pips less or 10 pips less? I was confused. So I wind up jumping out the trade real fast. And that's one question. And then I have another one. But I don't know.
Let me answer that one first.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing. And I think I told somebody about this earlier today. If you get a signal, now keep in mind now, we're all using a Telegram for now until this app is finally launched. We're using phone service. So number one, my signal may be different than you guys own or wherever you're at. Like right now, I'm seeing somebody in the chat say that internet connection might be a little slow. All this plays a factor when you have an app called Telegram that this signal is being thrown to. So what I recommend to anybody, even when you hear the notification go off and say buy or sell, the first thing you do is not to just go and click buy or sell. You got to be fast with this thing, but you need to check the chart first. Check the chart first. And if you just woke up, man, you don't want to wake up and just do something. I mean, yeah, you trust the system, but you still got to see, did I catch it at a delay? Did the market move pretty fast before I was able to get into it? Because guess what? If you only, can catch maybe 2 pips, it may be it may be good for you to just wait out and catch the next trading signal. So every signal you get, and this is why I want everybody to understand exactly what the strategy is. All this signals, the signal you guys are getting, all this is basically mimicking my strategy. So folks that's been following me for about 9-10 months in my telegrams, the same thing I say in that telegram is what goes on in this VIP alert. Lines crossing, below, red line cross above, or RSI above 30, below 30 or above 70. This is things that I've been saying, for the longest. So knowing the impulse is going to be a huge factor for you actually being successful in this. Now, here's the thing. I told you guys this was the bread and butter for straight profits on Sunday, right? What's today? Today is Monday or Tuesday? Today is Tuesday. On Sunday's training, I told everybody the bread and butter, success, profit, money. And I'm a disclaimer, Paul, I got to say disclaimer, past results doesn't guarantee future results, but the bread and butter to this strategy or this signal is, and you guys write this down or pay attention closely. If you get an alert that says bullish, what is it? My mind is, oh, help me out. What does it say? Bullish, look to sell.
Bullish alert.
There you go. Bullish alert.
Look to
sell. What that is telling you is that the impulse is basically on an uptrend, right? It's a bullish alert because in the academy, bullish means an uptrend, bearish means a downtrend, right? So bullish alert, that means the impulse is happening.
It says bullish impulse or bearish impulse.
Hold on a second. Let me finish this one. So bullish alert, that means that it's basically going in an impulse on an uptrend. So in my strategy says that we're going to catch the correction. So the correction is going to be the sell. So this is the bullish alert, and we're going to catch the sell. So if you hear bullish alert, look to sell. When you hear bullish alert, the next candle on a 15-minute time frame, the next candle is going to say sell now. That's when you jump in that trade for a sell. So you can be ready for that. And the opposite, if it says bearish alert, that means the impulse is going down. And you're going to catch the opposite, which is going to be a buy. So it's going to say bearish alert, look to buy. You're going to wait for the next candle. And after that next candle, then the signal is going to say buy now. If you guys just understand that part and only take those trades, then you will never catch a drawdown. You guys noticed that we had one of those this morning, and that thing hit in probably less than 2 minutes or less than a minute. No drawdown. It went straight into profit. I mean, did anybody catch that one this morning? If you caught it, type 1 in the chat. Those are going to be the quickest trades you're going to get from this signal. No drawdown. It's going to go into profit. You're going to hit. So here's my thing. If you just stay patient and wait for that. Now this is what I told someone today. Even if you get one of these a day, that's okay. That's five days off of that spreadsheet per week. You can basically knock out 90 trades in less than 2.5 months if you catch one of these per day. Some days we get more. I think Monday we didn't have any. But today we had 3 signals. But those are the ones. So if you just want to stay in profit and don't have to hurt your head about a drawdown, that's the ones you want to go for. Not because you see you being anxious all day and you see buy now real quick, you jump in for a buy. That's okay if you do it, but understand when you get that one, you're going to have a slight drawdown. There's a possibility that there may be a drawdown. And those are the ones you need to worry about putting your stop loss in profit. If you just get buy now or sell now, if you jump in those ones, be ready to put your stop loss in profit. If you get the bullish and bearish, you're okay to catch 10 pips. But the key is for you to know how to calculate your 10 pips. If you get that signal, you don't have to wait on me or Paul to actually take profit in there. Go ahead and put your 10 pip take profit yourself. And then when you see our take profit comes, if you have a better take profit, then stay with it. If you see your take profit is shortened in pips and you jumped in late, then you can adjust it. But you should know how to plug in these stuff. You should know how to do that. And if you don't, now is the time to say, hey, can you show me? Because I'm a really nice guy and I answer every single message, but man, today was on another level. Like today was on another level. Like, and I still answer every single one, but I prefer you guys, and I'm going to say this out loud to everyone. Please, if you have questions on the webinar, on the webinars, ask them, because I'm probably going to be taking a little longer on answering the questions now, because I mean today was like, whew, I talked to Paul maybe 12 to 15 times today over simple stuff we was getting, like, how to plug in a take profit, it's okay. We're trying to fast start people to be able to get straight into profit making money, but you have to put some time and watch these videos. We didn't sit and do these videos for no reason. Like, I spent hours and hours and hours and weeks and months on this webinar doing trainings, answering millions of questions just to make sure you guys have access to it. We put together a whole website for you guys to have access to that, to go and see the news, the Forex news is coming out, everything you name, you can find there. That wasn't free. That cost me thousands of dollars. All this stuff you guys have free access to, thousands of dollars. So when we're trying to talk to programmers and talk to the lawyers, and my phone is blowing up, and we're trying to perfect this thing, so when it goes to the app, you guys, man, how much people could have so much more success stories. We already have a lot of success stories already, but there could be so many more success stories added quickly. If we just do the basic, go in IML Academy Basics, watch the videos, or you go to Mr. GJ TV, watch some of the trainings, get some of the understanding, or come on my trainings, plug in. So you don't have to be through all through, the day messaging how to do this, how to do that. I'm trying to make money too while I'm helping, but hey, I couldn't even make that much money today. All right, you had another question, Ahmad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, being real patient because you got a lot. You said a lot of stuff. What's funny? I just started trading yesterday, and like Sister Sakina, she's the one that put me on. She actually broke down. She had me go over all my apps and things like that. So I was just playing around with it, jump in the trade, jump out, jump in, like just seeing stuff or whatever. And I won some money. I did win some money and stuff like that. But long story short, basically when you had sent that information in, it said 46 or 100 or something like that. Even if I was to put that in when I woke up, and if I took that take profit, it would have been only 3 pips. It would have only went up 3 pips, and that's what I would have walked away with, which is fine. But I didn't understand that till you just said whatever you just said just now.
Yep. And see, if it was me, Ahmad, and I saw that, that you woke up and I saw a take profit, and I was only willing to get 3 pips, I probably would have passed on that, because you had a late entry. So, your risk to reward wasn't that strong. You're risking, a bunch to catch 3 pips on, something you caught late, where we were only waiting on 3 more pips, So in that particular one, I wouldn't have got in. I would have just waited on the next one. But okay. And that's what the demo is for. The demo is going to actually, you're going to make those type of decisions. You want to trade demo like it's your live. I tell people that all the time. Don't trade demo. See, people trade demo and they detach themselves emotionally from the market, which is the right way to go. But the minute they go live, they're scared. They're making all kind of crazy mistakes, that they wouldn't have done with the demo. So when you practice, what they say, practice make perfect. So you want to practice your demo just like it's your live account. That's the best advice anybody can give you in trading. You practice it just like, it's your live account. All right?
Okay, cool.
Hey, David, I got a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
On the alert signals, when it says like 15 red line crossing below the blue line, is that an actual signal that we should potentially act on after the candle has closed? When the next candle.
So this is what I would say. So, and this goes back to, the trainings too. So when you see red line cross above, red line cross below, or you see RSI above 70, RSI below 30, that's some of the indicators I use when I scalp the consolidation. Okay. Now, 80% of the time, they basically hit, But right now, what we're doing is just the impulse. So when you get these alerts right now, it's just to say, hey, look what's going on. That's all. That's all those alerts are there for. We wanted to keep it there because, and anyone that's been following me for months, they know that's what I would say. So technically, we tried to mimic this whole system just like what I would do on a daily basis. I would say those things, I would basically tell people, hey, RSI, alert, RSI is above 70. Anybody that knows the strategy, if its RSI is above 70, that means what? Somebody type in the chat. What are you potentially looking for if it's above 70? There you go.
For sell.
It's a sell. So these are the things, we left there to kind of keep you engaged because you may have one impulse a day. You may have 5, 6. I know last week, we had, maybe 6 or 7 in one day. But these are the things you want to look for. And here's the thing. If you want to actually trade those and you actually learn this consolidation from, what I do, I have in the Mr. GJ TV, then guess what? You can have a separate account. And when you get those particular indicators, you want to know what they mean first. And when you get those, 80% of the time it happens. I usually look, when I'm trading consolidation, I look for at least 2 to 3 of my 4 indicators before I would enter. So if I look and I see, we got a signal that says, red line cross above, and and I see some dips ahead in the cloud, I can jump in for a buy and catch some pips. So I would use that, for another account, but that we just left that. So right now, you can just open up your eyes and see, okay, this is what the market is doing right now. So at this moment, if you just trade right now the market is just, this indicator is just for the impulse. So if you see those notifications, just check the chart out, see what is happening.
Hey, David, can you go to the charts and show them some impulses? They want to see what they look like.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, while you're doing that, so say I was asleep when you see me. I send out those TP, do this and do that. So if I wake up in the morning, it's 4 hours after you sent it, I'm like, oh dang, like am I just SOL for the rest of the day?
No, not really. I mean, so here's the thing. Not 9 times out of 10. The impulse comes from what? Comes from news, right? Who's that? Are you with me? Talk to me.
I'm here.
All right, so 9 times out of 10, when we have an impulse, the impulse comes from news. Okay? So if you want to be prepared for it, you can look at, Forex Factory or the economic calendar to see like tomorrow. Everybody knows that tomorrow is probably going to be a big day on impulses because we have a lot of action in the news. So, if you miss out on it, I wouldn't make it seem like, hey, you lost, or, I would basically just catch the next one. The market is open 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. You ain't missing nothing. There's always time to catch another one. If that make sense?
Yes, it does. It seems more active, like around, like you said, from 3 to 9, or someone said that, and I'm asleep because I have class. So I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? And then another thing is, I was watching the Abel Academy, and she was like, or someone said, you should pick 3 currencies that you're really good at and stick with those? Like, what's that about? 3 types of.
So
3 indicators, probably.
Yeah,
She's
probably
talking about a
3.
Days A Duncan in one of the beginning videos. She says that you should marry yourself to like 3 currencies.
Right. What is it?
So for me, I use one currency pair, GBP, JPY. I guess, and the reason I use it is because I know the moves it's making. I understand everything it's doing. So that's just like, for example, if you live with someone, over, let's say a year or so, the time they wake up, when they brush their teeth, what time what they like to eat, what's their favorite drinks, stuff like that. So it's the same thing in the market. You follow one pair, you're going to learn every move that pair is making. If you got so much pairs you're following, then you can confuse yourself because different pairs move different ways. So that's what made me, that's why I stick with one.
So you only trade with one, so your money only really goes to that one pair.
One pair, that's me. Now, today I did cheat on GJ and I jumped on US 30, and I made some money on that. But I was just testing my strategy with US 30, and it actually hit. So I'm gonna start back testing that too, guys. Hello. All right, but yeah, I stick with one pair right now.
Hello.
So like, so say you send the bunch, so I'm just like, I'm going to wait on my GJ or my AE or whatever, BC, whatever everybody's saying. So you just wait on those and when those, or you don't have to really wait, I guess, when, like you say, when you start to figure it out. But they say it's kind of dangerous to make up your own TP, stop profit and stuff like that. So I was wondering, am I supposed to be patient and wait on someone else? The group chat, the new wave.
Okay, what I would personally recommend you do is go in the academy, IML Academy, and you go through the basics, go through the videos. Everybody's journey is going to be different. That's why we have different styles of trading. My good buddy in the Bahamas, me and him talk every day. His strategy is swing trading, Jamal Green, and I'm a scalp trader. We total opposites trading strategies, trading styles, but we both make money. So even if you're in a group chat and, they telling you to do this, personally, your journey is going to be different. Your personality, may be, where you don't want to wait, hours or weeks for basically for trades to hit. So you have to actually find that out yourself. Everybody's journey is going to be different. The reason I chose scalping because I like my money in my pocket now. I don't want to see my money in numbers going up and down. I want to see scalping is basically, in and out the market pretty fast. It's just getting in the trades, catching a few pips and coming out. Swing trading is basically you can set it and it could run for, a couple hours, couple days, couple weeks, couple months, and then it'll hit. So all this stuff, will be in the academy, or, if you want to, you have IML TV where you can actually follow master educators, that have success in the market and they have different trading styles also, or you can follow me. Hey, I'm a scalp trader and you can kind of learn my strategy and go with that.
I have a question.
How long have you been in Michaela? 1 second, Victoria.
Like a week and a half, and I kind of got frustrated with it last Thursday, and I stopped doing it until like Friday or something like that. Cause I was just like, I'm losing my little 40 cents, and I started with $25, and I got down to 7, and then I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I was over it.
This is what I would tell you, Michaela. It took me, honestly, about 3 months before I even understood what I was looking at. Honestly. And the thing is with that, first off, if you've only been in for a week or so, I would strongly recommend you trade demo until you're comfortable. You don't want to risk your money. This market don't play. This market will take your money in a heartbeat and don't even tell you sorry. I'm telling you. So, what I would tell you is you don't want to just, you want to put forward the time. Anything worth having does not come easy. Understand that. So if this was so easy everybody would be doing it and would be making millions and billions easy. Now, there are some folks that actually can help you fast forward to being successful. Yes, you have, different, educators or trainers that, throw signals for you to help you out. All that is for you to actually, to help you understand a little faster. Yeah, you don't want to go live in your account. You can go demo and still take the signals until you're comfortable. But then the key is for you to still learn. You don't want to just be a trade taker. And the reason I'm telling you this, because that was me. 3 months of a straight trade taker. That's what I did. And when I was doing that, I didn't see consistent profits. You name it, anybody was calling trades, I was in that group. I had like 10 Telegram groups taking trades from everybody. And guess what? I understood that when that person trade did not hit, I couldn't blame nobody but myself, because I was responsible for pressing that button buy or sell. That person did not force me to jump and press buy or sell. So I had to figure out, okay, I need to get inside their brain and learn the strategy, learn what they're looking at when they get in the market. So that's the best thing. All this is to help you to learn and earn at the same time. But you have to actually use your demo and practice it, before you actually go live, because the market moves pretty fast. So my advice is don't give up. Do not give up, because this opportunity you have in front of you is powerful. You can make thousands in seconds. I'm telling you, this is facts. When I started off trading pennies. I tell people this all the time. Me and my Bahamas crew, when we first started, the money team, we used to be bragging and singing songs. We turning pennies into dollars, which that's what we was doing. We was taking pennies and actually making dollars from it. But now, the lowest lot size, with me comfortable in the market is like $2, $3 minimum. Like if I trade anything under that, I don't even feel like looking at the charts. But it takes time. It takes time. It takes back testing. It takes going through the struggles. I've blown accounts before. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've all made straight a bunch of profits. I've been greedy. That's human nature. You see how easy it is for you to actually make money in the market. And guess what? You're going to try to capitalize on it, and the market will slap you back into reality. But we all have blown accounts. We all have, did the wrong thing, over leverage. So that's why, I can sit there and say, hey, don't do this or don't do that. 9 times out of 10, you're in charge of your own money. So you're still going to do whatever you want to do. But when it happens, that voice, that Bahamian accent, you're going to come up in your head and say, man, David told me. Like some people, when they come and tell me they blow their account, they'll come straight and say, man, I was being greedy. I over leveraged. They telling on themselves because they already know what we talked about.
David. David, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt. Listen, Chairman 10, we've seen your question. If you keep posting it over and over, that's the type of stuff that David is talking about. That is just rude and belligerent. We have seen your question. It will get answered. He already said he would go over some of the impulses. He's already actually gone over the definitions that you're asking for. So please, don't be belligerent. That is just rude. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. And like I said, I'm going to answer every single question you guys have. Right now we have 315 people on here. And if I got to sit there till tomorrow morning answering questions, that's what I'm going to dedicate my time to do, because I don't want to leave nobody behind, but we got to, come on, just think about it. You guys have free access to all this stuff, man. I spent thousands, I spent so much time trying to pour into you guys, and, just kind of be respectful about it. We're trying to make sure everybody can catch this and be successful, but, that is, just a little taste of what I've been getting today, and, some days, and, it's crazy, but, I'm not going to let the few people mess it up for folks that's actually trying to actually get this thing. I've had last week, there was folks messaging me that for the first time in years, they actually made profit from the strategy and from what we was doing. Man, that brought tears to my eyes. Folks was doing withdrawals. Man, I mean, I'm telling you, it's crazy, man. People been doing this for so long and haven't probably made one withdrawal yet. And we had so many success stories, and I can go on, with this scalping strategy, man. Folks was able to, man, it's so much personal stuff that, I mean, I get messages every single day, and they're good messages, it makes me happy, that and that's what keeps me pushing and doing this because, I've been in the last week, 2-3 weeks, I've probably had average of maybe 2 hours, 3 hours sleep on average. And guess what? I don't get paid to do none of this. This is all from the heart because I feel like I could reach, thousands of people all at once from these trades that we're sending out or from the trainings that we're doing. I've never been able to do this ever in my life, being able to impact so many people all at one time. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, we have 321 people on this call that we're going over questions and trainings about the market. And I can do that all in this one call. Touch 321 folks' lives right now. I've never been able to do that, and this is just the beginning. All right. Also, we confirmed the date. I know Ori is on here. I'll be down. Me and Paul will be in Fort Lauderdale, May 23rd, to do a training. They're putting on a big event over there. So I know the flyers will be coming soon. So we'll be down in person doing the training in Fort Lauderdale. I think I said that right. Also, Thursday, if you're in Denton or Dallas, we'll be in Denton, Texas. The flyer will be posted hopefully tomorrow or tonight. I think Andre and Wanda Webb is working on that. So we'll be there and we'll be doing the trainings and we'll do a 6x6 there in Denton, Texas. So invite your friends. We're going to go down to the basics. If I got to sit down and color a book with y'all, we'll make it happen. All right. All right. Any other questions? I know we had one from Victoria. Forget you. What was that? Victoria?
Yes. Okay. So, my question was, I piggyback off of the young ladies about the time. So, what time zones? Because I know there's different time zones like London, Tokyo, whatever. But what time zones is best to trade in this? Like the best time to trade, and then yeah. I'll let you answer that one because I forgot my second one.
All right.
Answer that one first.
So anytime you have movements in the market, that's the best time. So for me, I've been able to see a lot of movements in the London session, which, between 2 a.m. to about, I see a lot of movements between 2 a.m. to about 9, 10 a.m. in the morning. That's when I see the most movements in the market all day. Also, too, when news comes out, especially with the impulse, you can actually, go and look up and see the day's news are coming out. And that can help you, be prepared also.
So do you look at news the week before, or is it an everyday thing?
You can look at it every day. Have you seen it on the website yet, or you want me to show you how to access it?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen. I know it's on the Forex Factory because I've been in the back of the MIML.
How do you find it?
Okay, so we actually, because sometimes on Forex Factory, you may have news that's there, and then sometimes it's not on Forex Factory. 1 second, I'm going to show you.
Okay, and while you're looking that up, I remember my last question. My last question was, so when you send out the bearish and the bullish, should we just open our MetaTrader? Like, should we just open that up and kind of be ready?
Well, I'm glad you said that. So what I would tell you, as soon as if you see bearish and bullish, first thing you want to do is look at your time. All right, so we're looking at the 15-minute time frame, right? So the 15-minute time frame means every 15 minutes a new candle comes out, right?
Okay.
So if you see a bearish and bullish comes out, first thing I want you to do is look at your time and see how far the next 15 minutes is from there. So right now, if it was to come out, right now it's 7:50. So that means the next 15-minute candle would be what? At 8 o'clock.
Or 8 o'clock, yeah.
Right? So, you can go and pull out your MetaTrader 4, put in your lot size, and then wait for that next signal to say buy or sell, and then you're ready to go.
Okay.
And this is what I do. If I'm in front of my computer, I have TradingView that's open up. And what I'll do is, TradingView has the seconds counting down. So if the seconds are counting down, you know down to the second when that alert is about to, say buy or sell.
Okay.
That's going to give you perfect entry.
All right.
All right. So if you come to the website, MrGJPipWalking.com, you can go to Forex Resources, and you have options. You have the economic calendar. You basically have the currency strength. You basically have my FX books. You have Forex Factory, and you have TradeView, the live TradeView. So you have everything, right then. Like this is the live thing what's happening with GJ right now. And you can check, it'll take you right there. And sometimes the red folders may be on Forex Factory, but it might not be on the economic calendar. So you want to make sure you check all of them. And like for example, tomorrow is Wednesday, so we see bam, red folder, all these. So we're gonna have some impulse about 4:30 in the morning. So guess what? This will be a time maybe you set your alarm. Like Monday. Monday we didn't have no GBP. Yeah, we did. We had yellow folder, but it wasn't a red folder. Red folder is basically high impact. So if I don't see no high impact, maybe you may be able to sleep through the night. But if you see like tomorrow we have red folders, hey, guess what? There's gonna probably be some impulse happening. This is Wednesday, and then you go to Thursday, same thing. Thursday we don't see no morning stuff here. You're good. And then you could check, maybe economic calendar. So you just want to basically give yourself a game plan on what to do, if that makes sense. All right, you can actually prepare for when the impulse is going to happen. 9 times out of 10 comes from news.
Hey, David, can I make a quick point here real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Just out of experience, guys, y'all hear me. All I shout is impulse, 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 impulse. And see, when I first started, I used to go to David every other day. David, I want to get in on the big side. How do I get in on the big side? David, teach me how to get on the side on the impulse. That is not a predictable side. When it's going up or down, we don't know where it's going to stop. And that is why we're watching the impulse to see the recovery, because that's where the money's at. That's my point.
Hey, also, on those news folders that David just showed you, a lot of those news folders are not the folders that create the huge impulses. A lot of those move 40, 50 pips and then almost come right back, because a lot of them are news about the economy and stuff like that. The news that will generally send GJ crazy is all of the Brexit stuff, the actual Brexit news. So,
David.
Yes, ma'am. That voice sounds familiar. That's Juanita. Where you at?
Yeah. Hey, that's me. Hold on. Hold on.
What's
there
up?
I go. Hey.
Hello.
Okay, I have a question, because I'm actually implementing what you are encouraging all of us to do, is to learn your strategy, So I've been to YouTube and I took notes. As far as with the alerts, I'm clear on the instructions and the confirmation with the alert. So I got that. But now I'm after, like, if I'm raw naked looking at my chart, trying to trade the impulse. So correct me if I'm wrong. So we already know the blue candle is buy. So when we see like 70 to 100 of those, like consistently, like just going up, visually, I'm not looking at a chart, but I know what an impulse looks like. So when we hit like 70 to 100, that's the impulse. And then, but the one we want to get on is that red one. When I guess now it's correcting it. So it's going to be a red one going into a sell. So that's the one. There we go. That's the one we want to get in for the 10 pips, right? So that's just an example.
Yeah, it can go either way.
Either way. So like say for instance, if it's red, which we know is a sell. So I may see a consistently like 70 to 100 pips, a couple candles consistently. But the one that I want to get on when it converts over to a blue candle, correct?
Let me show you. I'm gonna show you something right now. Let's see, 34.
That's one question. And the second question while you're doing that is that the red line, blue line, and the cloud.
So I don't want you to mix that up because that part is going to be consolidation.
Okay, that's
so the impulse. So the impulse and the consolidation is two different strategies in scalping. Right now, what we're focusing on is basically the impulse. So the impulse is basically saying for every action, there is a reaction, right? I do this all the time. A plane starts off on level ground, plane takes off, right?
Right.
Then the plane gets to the altitude.
Right.
And then when it's time to land, it starts to go back down. And then it levels back to the floor. So everything that goes up must come down. So what I did was I back tested and I said, okay, I needed to find a number where most of my candles or majority of the candles or the impulse that happens, they're going to actually correct. So you have some traders that they're waiting on the impulse to catch that 100 pips or to catch. That's not me. I just want 10 pips at a time. Okay. Because what I'm doing is I'm compounding my money. I'm compounding. If somebody, catches 100 pips on one call, and I catch 100 pips, basically in a couple hours or a couple days, I will compound 10 pips at a time, and I would make way more money than them if we started off at the same lot size.
Okay.
So what this is doing is basically you catching 10 pips on the correction, just that little piece. So, for example, right here. I think the math was kind of right on this. So this was like 70 this morning. I think it was a little on this, like wick to wick, and we go wick to wick. So for example, this here it started at 145.356, right?
Right.
And if it went up, this was a buy. It could be one candle or it could be 10 candles, as long as it's all consecutive, as long as they're the same. So basically, it started at this candle here, at this wick. Let me zoom in. Right here, it started at this wick here. This is a buy, this is a buy, right? So the strategy says at least 70 pips, right? So this went 70 pips. So what we're going to do here is we're going to catch 10 pips on the correction, which is 145.95.
Don't worry about it. They'll stay there. What are they doing?
All right. So it went up 70 from this blue line to this blue line. And all we wanted to do is catch 10 pips right here on the correction.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
And then guess what? It kind of did the opposite. Came down 70. And all we want to do is catch 10 pips on the correction. So this here, hold on, this market, where is that? It's at 35, so basically our TP would have been 45.
And the correction is that green candle.
But yeah, basically the opposite from what it's doing.
Yes, there we go.
So they could have taken, it could have taken one candle, it could have taken, a couple of candles, but the correction is always happening. It's always bound to happen.
Okay, that's why I was after. So the correction is the opposite candle. The next opposite
is the opposite, the opposite of what happened. So right here, it went up. What's the opposite of up?
Down, and it's going to
be. There you go. So you take profit, you jump in for a sell on that, and that's where you made money. And then it went down. The opposite of down is what?
Up.
There you go. So that's where you go. So up will be a buy. So anytime you hear the word buy, for you to make money, the market has to do what? Go up.
Right.
Anytime you hear the word sell, for you to make money, the market has to go down. Okay. All right. So that was this morning. Let's go ahead and let me find you guys another one. Because this is what you're looking for. This is what this signal is actually scanning through the market.
Hey, David, this is George. I got a real quick question on that last candle that you were at, if you have a second.
Go ahead.
I was noticing that the RSI is at 40. Now, when you're dealing with the impulse, that doesn't take into effect.
No, all indicators down the drain when you're dealing with impulse.
Okay.
The only time we're dealing with indicators is when you are trading the consolidation.
Okay, which leads me to my next question. When you said you were doing the US 30, are you doing the US 30 on the impulse or on the?
I'm still working out the numbers on the impulse for the US 30. I know somebody's going to ask about that.
I should have muted you on that one, man.
I have a quick question, real quick.
Well, I just did it for the first time today, and I started looking at numbers.
I should have muted you, man.
All right, thank you. Hey, by the way, David, all the answers to your questions are in your old trading videos that are on YouTube. Everything there, guys, is everything there is there. I've been with you probably for about 3 months now, and I just keep going back to your old videos, and I'm learning something every single time I watch them. So I just want to tell you thank you, and thank your team for all that you guys are doing. You're changing lives every single day, and I want you to know that you're greatly appreciated. So
thanks, George.
Everybody, just go back and look in the past, and that'll be your future. So thank you again, David.
Thank you, George. I appreciate the words.
Excuse me, David. I have one quick question. When you were saying that we should wait till that next 15-minute candle to buy or sell, is it just that we buy or sell the second the candle pops up, or do we wait to see how it moves?
I would still wait for the indicator.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. If you know we're over 70 or over 100 pips in the impulse, technically every impulse that hit, basically that happened since I've been back testing, corrected. So the difference, and see, here's the thing. This is the difference why I say 70 to 100. If you're leveraged right, then yes, you can enter at 70 and you'll be okay, and your impulse, your correction is going to hit. You know, and the thing is, you know, sometimes the reason I put 70, yes, you would want to wait for 100 because it's more or less a guarantee, not a guarantee, but you're likely to basically hit profit. You know, see, guys, I'm having some cloud action right now. Sorry, but yeah, so you're more likely to go straight into it. You know, from 100, or you know, if it goes back more, but the 70 is still going to correct itself. You know, so that's why we talk about leveraging. And I think, you know, I was talking to Paul this morning. I talked to Paul. How much times I call you today? I think today was a record.
I lost count, buddy.
I'm sorry. When you're saying 70 and 100, what exactly are you referring to?
The pip count.
Oh, okay.
The pip count. So yeah, 70, 100 on the pip count. That's what qualifies the impulse. So you'll see people all the time in different groups. Hey, you know, the impulse is at so-and-so. You know, basically that's giving you a warning to say, hey, look out, you know, for the impulse and jump in for the correction. You know, so the impulse is actually, you know, identified from 70 to 100 pips. And then you just jump in for the correction. But yeah, if, you know, I think, you know, we kind of, with this new system, we kind of spoil a lot of folks because of, you know, it going straight into profit, you know, the last couple of weeks. You know, you still have to leverage your accounts right. Leverage is going to be key in any trading style or strategy you're using. The more you can leverage, the more likely you're going to have a high success rate and take profits hitting, or consistent profits in the market. You know, if you try to be greedy, you know, you get slapped back into reality from the market. So, you know, always leverage right. And even if you get in at 70 pips on the impulse, your correction is going to happen. It's a given. And, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, if you don't believe it, you know, just back test it. I mean, you can go back and look back for years and years. Years and years. The market don't lie. The proof is in the pudding, is right in front of you. Go back and back test it before you actually say, okay, I'm a true believer of this impulse. You know, there's a ton of people that been and back test this thing and they've seen it hit every time. So it works. That's why I'm so confident in this. You know, that's why I've made a lot of money in this, you know, because it works. It's the simplest, by far, it's the simplest strategy. There's so many, there's so many people probably know more than me in the market right now. That is a fact. There's so many people on this call or that's taking trades from me or taking trainings from me that know so much more than me in the market. All I did was find something that works, and I'm going to use it until it stopped working. You know, keep it simple, stupid. I don't want to look at all these. I mean, it's good to continue learning, but I just want to make money. That's all I'm here to do, make money in this market. That's all I'm trying to do. So if I tell somebody, if I got to draw a T and dot an I and say, hey, when I draw the T and dot the I, you jump in for a buy. If that works, and people making money, guess what? Run with it. It don't matter how pretty you can chart up the charts or, call out support and resistance, all that stuff. Yeah, that's good, man. But if you ain't making no money, you ain't talking nothing. We trying to make money in this market. We ain't trying to make friends. We trying to make money. So I try to keep it as simple as possible. With this, I can get the newest person. I guarantee you that you can be the newest person trading in the market. And if I could do a one-on-one with you every single day for a week, I can get you to be consistently hitting profits more than people that's been trading for years. If I work with you every single day and I teach you the simplest things that I'm looking for, this stuff is easy. And you can be consistently hitting profits in the market. Now, that don't mean everybody blow me up and say, work with me for a week. Because I know we get those messages. I'm just giving you guys an example of, how easy this strategy is. Daniel, you had another question? Unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
How you doing, David? I got a few questions here. One, I just wanted to clarify because I watched your videos, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything or misunderstand something. As far as the impulse is concerned, basically we don't even have to look at the cloud at all. It's just based on the 70 to 100 pip movement. Is that right?
Correct. You don't even have to use the cloud.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that. My next question is, now you say you can jump in anywhere from 70 to 100 pips, but is it ideal to wait for that candle that moves the opposite direction to jump in? Is that like the most ideal time to jump in for the 10 pips?
So here's I have a feedback. Paul, do you hear that? Okay, I think it's better now. I think that was yours.
That was Dan's, so I got to mute him while you're talking.
Okay, perfect. So here's the thing. Even when you jump in at 70 pips, the correction is still going to hit. You're still going to get your 10 pips from it. So if you have a pullback or if it continues, basically it's still going to correct. It just happens. It's always going to correct. Now, if you're talking about the indicator, the alerts, basically that's when you wait for the next candle. We bucked up to something powerful where it kind of measures the strength of when the candle is changing. That's why we're so confident in the bearish and bullish, because it can basically go past 70, it can go past 100 pips, it can go to 150, 200 pips. But when you get the bearish and bullish alert, it's measuring the strength of when that candle is going to change. Now, Paul can probably say this clearer than me, but I mean, that's our gold mine. That's our diamond in the rough. That's why we're so confident in the bearish and bullish. That when that thing signals off, you basically it's going to change the strength in the candle, so then you're going to go straight into profit. So yeah, that's why we say, hey, bearish and bullish alert is a gold mine for everyone. It's just the patience. That's the thing. People are going to be like, oh, I got to wait for this to happen. I got to wait on. That's why we have, me, I have the most annoying ringtone for when that signal comes out. And people that's been around me, they see me how I act when I hear that. I don't care if it's a red line crossing or the alert, just a indicator for the RSI. I could be in a deep conversation with you, and if that thing pops off, that conversation is done. We stop it for a few seconds. This is facts. I've had people seen me in action. Yesterday, I had a guy that was by my house. We was talking, and basically, it's so funny story. It was a lady that was there too, and her regular ringtone was my annoying ringtone for my alerts, and it went off. Heard somebody text message her or whatever, and I basically stopped what I was doing and ran to my phone. Like literally, if you guys know Anthony Dobson, he can contest to this. Like I stopped what I was doing and I ran to my phone and I looked and I didn't see no alerts. And I asked him, I said, did you get some alerts? And then she was like, no, that was my phone. She's not trading, but I'm like, you just don't know what you did. I just stopped what I was doing by my front door, and I ran back to the kitchen where my phone was at. I would stop in my tracks to get that when I hear that. So make that the most annoying ringtone you have. So when you get it, you know it's about business. And here's the thing. That means you might not have to look at your phone all day long or look at charts all day long, because when that alert comes, especially if it's the bearish and bullish, it's game over. You're going to hit profit. So now you just take advantage of the spreadsheet and you capitalize on compounding every single 10 pip trade you get. I hope I was able to answer that for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, David. How do you set those alerts?
You got to go in your settings. Go in the settings and go into notifications. No, it's on your phone. So you have to go into your settings on the Telegram on your phone, go to notifications, and you would have to customize the ringtone.
Okay, and final question here, David. In the case, so for example, with the morning trade, that it seems like I got a nice reality check in which I missed the 4 pip stop loss. At that point, when do you personally? I mean, I leverage my account properly thanks to your worksheet, so I'm not too concerned with the big. It's got enough space for the 200, 400 pip wiggle room. But how do you personally decide whether the market's not going to go back or it will stay the course? Like at this point, is it smart for me to wait for that take profit? At one point, do I decide to cut my losses? As far as what the market is doing, not necessarily by stop loss.
I get it. So personally, I've kind of changed over the last, I would say, 2 months. I've kind of changed over the last 2 months on decisions I make. And I told a story a couple months ago. There's somebody was on a live with Christopher Terry doing. He was at an event, and he said the human mind is a serious thing because, let's just say you're trading all day, and you got up $1,000 in the market. You profit $1,000 in the market. You happy? Oh, everything is going great, right? And then you get in a bad trade, and now that trade has you, let's say $300 in the negative, right? Well, what the human brain is telling you is, man, I'm losing money, right? And what it's not telling you is, hey, I'm still up $700. Instead of it telling you I'm still up $700 from trading today, it's telling you I'm down $300, and then you start to not even look at the market the right way. Even if you see that it's not coming back in your favor, guess what? You're still saying, oh, I see something, like you're making up stuff, and then now that 300 turns into 500 negative, turns into 700 negative, turns into 1,000 negative. Now you $200-300 negative out of your own money, and you're still hoping for it to come back. So recently, when I look at trades now, now the spreadsheet forces you to leverage right. If you're not using a spreadsheet, you need to use it, because if you're not leveraged right, you're going to have blown accounts. Okay? You're going to have blown accounts. So this forces you to leverage your accounts right. So what you can do is you can make an educated decision on how your week was trading or how your day was trading. If I'm up, there was, I think 2 weeks ago when we had back-to-back news came out. I was having a fire week, man. I was like at 60-something thousand, in 1 week. And basically, the back-to-back news came out, and if that take profit had hit, I'd have made 25,000 more in that particular day. So I would have had almost 80,000 in 1 week. And then we took that 60 pip drop, right? So we're waiting out all day. Every trade that's called, I'm in the same trade as you guys. And we're waiting that thing all day long. And usually, folks that's been following me in the past, they know we can wait about 150, 200 pips before I say close, because I know it's going to come back. There's a reason we call a trade. but now we have so many people that's actually following, the system, and I want to protect everybody's account. So, I made a decision to basically close out with a $15,000 loss. And I told everybody, hey, I'm closing after this, candle, because the swap was coming and the market was going to close, and I happily took my 50,000 profit that week instead of the 65 or the 80 that I was shooting for. That was a smart decision. Why? Because I didn't have control of what was going on over the weekend when the market was closed. I didn't know it could have gapped in my favor or gapped against me. If I have control of the market now, if an impulse happened, I can close out real quick and say, hey, I'll take the loss, right? But over the market, I can't make that decision. Over the weekend, I can't make the decision. So, I made some calls. I called Paul and said, hey, this is what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I called Jamal. You have to have a trading circle of people that's actually, doing the same things you're doing. You're in a circle of 5 broke people, you're number 6. If you're in a circle of 5 successful people, you're number 6. Same thing with trading. You're in a circle of 5 traders or successful traders, you're going to be number 6. So basically, I said, look, man, here's the decision I'm going to make. I called Lyndon. I said, bro, if this thing hits, I'm $80,000 for the week. That's a record. Who does that? And I said, but, man, I don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. And I talked to Jamal. Jamal said, look, buddy, you're already, if you close, you're going to be 50,000 up. That's still a huge week. And they had to bring me back to reality because Christopher Terry's voice was in my brain, but I couldn't make the decision by myself because, 98% of trading is mental. So if you have people in your corner that's going to guide you to the right decision, that's who you need in your corner. If I didn't have nobody in my corner, guess what? I probably would have hold. Now, it so happened that Sunday the market gapped in our favor, so I was pissed off that I lost, took that loss, and I didn't wait it out, but it was still the right decision to make. It was the right decision to make because I had no clue on what could have happened while the market was closed. But I was pissed off, but guess what? I was happy. So to answer your question, when you're leveraged so right, don't be afraid to take a loss here and there. If for every 20 trades you hit and you take one loss, that's pretty good. A successful trader is 60-40. That means you win 60% of the time, you lose 40. Now, for me, I got to pat myself on the back because I'm like at 97 or 98%. But you have to understand, if anybody sits and tells you you're not going to lose in the market, tell them they're a liar. Because you will get some losses in the market. You just have to be smart when you do make those losses. That's why you see I do weekly withdrawals. Last week, I was doing daily withdrawals. Get my money back in my bank account. You have to have a game plan. Don't just leave this money here floating around because you're going to lose someday. You're going to get in some losses. We're going to take some losses. You just have to have lower losses, and your wins have to be so much that when you take a loss is okay. So if you get in a position where you basically you're in a negative, kind of look and see where you're at, how you've been trading in the last week, that day, that month, and if you're in the blue, hey, guess what? Take a loss if you need to, because you can make it right back up. Do you know when you take a loss? Instead of holding sometimes, you can make back up and even more. So sometimes you have to look and see what's going on in the market. Now if it's a correction and the correction about to hit, man, I'm gonna hang tight. I ain't going nowhere. But 11 of my losses in the last 10, 12 months, whatever long I've been trading and calling GJ for y'all, all of my losses came from what? Consolidation. None of them came from this impulse that you guys have your hands on right now. None of them. You just have to know how to use this. 4 pips in profit is what you use, and basically you stick to it. If you get the bearish and bullish, hey, go for 10 pips. All right? I think I was able to answer that for you, Daniel.
Hey,
Sorry
David.
it took so long.
Can I ask a question?
David.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, there's a few people asking to go over that first call this morning, so I think we need to touch on that a little bit more just to explain what happened.
Okay. So, that's where all these questions in the chat. Y'all got the chat covered, right?
Yeah, we're covering that, but I think we need to see that on the screen. Do you want to do it or?
You go ahead and do that for me, Paul.
Okay.
Hey, David, some of them are still holding that trade and they want to know if you think they should close it. I said they might want to check with Jamal because he's the structure person. He might be able to give us a better answer. But do you have any input on that? Should they go ahead and get out of it?
I mean, right now, I got some cloud action going on. You know, you could probably, I mean, I don't see it breaking right now. It's probably, you know, we consolidate during this time. But usually when you have cloud action, you have a lot of movement in the clouds. The top of my cloud is still flat. You know, I see most of my dips to the bottom. So, I mean, right now, I think the take profit, I think you got, is what about, I think it was 90 something. So you should be, you're like probably 70 something, 80 something negative right now. And see, here's the thing. This is why we use a spreadsheet where you use 20% of your actual balance. So even if 100 pips was to hit you, that is only 20% of your account. Trust me, I've played with this for months and months. You know, I've played with this, and then even down to day 17, you're getting your money back. If you use the spreadsheet and you do it the right way, I tell you guys, use 20% of your actual balance. 20% of your actual balance is what you're going to put in the beginning balance on the spreadsheet. Okay? So what does that mean? That means if 100 pips, if we was to get hit with news or you dropped out 100 pips, that is only 20% of your account. That is only 20% of your account. And guess what? You live to trade another day. You can make that back quick in the market. Bam, 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 bam. You know, but you have to understand, sometimes, you know, you have to lose. So go ahead, Paul. Let me let you get that. I'm sorry.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, and I think when we call a stop loss, I mean, from earlier, you actually, you know, got back up some pips on where we called it. So nobody stop loss after I made that post should have hit. Everybody should have at least you gotten another, I think it went up another 30 pips from where we was at when I made that decision earlier. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. So first thing I want everyone to know about that first call. If you look back at your phones in the Telegram group, it wasn't preceded by a bullish alert signal. So that just means that wasn't a 70 pip move. So, and that's why a lot of people are confused that aren't we supposed to be getting in the correction, but it was bullish and it gave a buy signal somewhere around here. So just to show you that this wasn't a 70 pip move, I'll do this measurement right here. So if you can see this number here, this is 68.4 from this wick all the way to the top. And it gave a buy signal somewhere here, right? So that is where those kind of calls, if you're not following the strategy, that particular call where it's going up and it gives a buy signal in the same direction, you want to make sure that you you do your stop loss in profit. Don't hesitate. And if you get the call late, just wait, because this is how I would look at it. It's going up. I saw the call late, so it's almost 70 pips. So it's probably going to start correcting. So I'll just wait, leave that call alone, and wait for the next call. And most likely it'll be a call going in the opposite direction, right? And if you don't get that, that's fine. So that is what I wanted people to be clear about. Always focus on the strategy. Don't forget to put your stop loss in profit. Now, when you get the bullish and bearish alerts, I'd say, I think this one was, Nope, this one. So I think the second one, just looking at it right now. Yes, the second one gave a bearish alert, right? So for that one, it turned around right away. And you can tell it gave the signal some right here at the tip of the wick. And by the time you got here, I think it was already, how many pips was that? 34. At the end of the wick is already at 43. So you see how fast those ones hit profit. So my advice to the newbies or people who are not fast enough to make the change, wait for the bearish alert or the bullish alert, and you won't be disappointed. That's all I got.
All right.
Wait, I have one more question, David. With the stop loss. So when we placing our stop loss 4 to 5 pips into profit, are we placing our stop loss from our original entry or the new entry?
No, it's always going to be your entry. Remember, your entry and my entry still can be slightly different because we're getting in the trade at different times. The market is still moving. So basically, you know, and if you see me post a take profit, then if I post a take profit in there, you know I'm shooting for 10 pips. So you can basically, you know, if we're in a buy and I put a take profit in, you know, you subtract 10 pips, that's where my entry is at. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm gonna sell, you know, and I put a take profit in there, you know that you're gonna basically add 10 pips and that's where my entry is gonna be. So right. You know, until we actually get the programmer to actually put a TP, a take profit when the trade happens, you know, for now we have to do it manually. You know, so you just have to, you can actually go off of that. But if everybody has the same access I have in my hand right now, so when I get the alerts, you get the same alerts. So you don't have to wait on me to for me to plug my numbers in. You can go plug in your own numbers from the entry you got in. You know, so when that alert goes off, you have the same alert that I'm getting.
Okay. So
you go off of your entries.
Okay, I think the question is from my original entry for when I entered, before it took off and started going into profit.
Yeah, so if you go, let's say you're in a buy and you enter here. Mm-hmm. For you to make money, the market has to go up. So as it go up, 4 or 5 pips, you're going to come in and put that stop loss here, even though your take profit is above here. And when you put it here, it's going to protect your account. So even if it comes back and drops, it knocks you out in profit.
Gotcha. All right, got it.
All right.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there any training available on how to operate the trading view? Like, I would like to set it up where it looks similar to yours and stuff, but all the buttons and everything, I don't really understand.
I think we have an MT4 training on Mr. GJ TV.
I think she asked about Trading View, though.
For Trading View?
It's in the academy, David. It's in the academy under the intermediate trade, I believe.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. Any other questions, guys?
Hey, David.
Go ahead.
So, like, when you enter in your stop loss, right, it don't have to be 10 pips. It could be like, 4 pips, 3 pips?
Yeah, so your take profit is going to be 10 pips.
Right.
Take profit is basically where you want the market go to take you, knock you out of the trade and say you made money.
Right.
Stop loss, remember, stop loss is basically what you're willing to risk. So when you put your stop loss in profit, basically you're not risking anything because your trade is already in profit.
Okay.
So stop loss in profit is basically protecting your account from not losing any money.
And when you mean stop loss in profit, it's like it would be over the entry line, right?
Because if you're in a buy, it would be above the entry.
Above the entry line,
and when you sell, it'll be below. Because remember, for you to make money in a buy, the market has to
has to go up.
And if you're in a sell, for you to make money,
it has to go down.
So once you're actually in profit from your entry. So whenever you enter, once you're in profit, you're going to come back in and you're going to lock that stop loss in profit, basically to protect your account.
See, because what I was doing today, like I was practicing with the demo account, and when the market started to go up, I started to place my stop loss like a little closer to my entry point, because like you said, when it started to go below that, I didn't want it to like lose like that much money or whatever the case may be.
So
and I
what
didn't
you
know
want
that
to
was
do is you want to do, most people, what we do is we do a trailing stop loss all the way until your take profit hits.
okay.
So let's just say, you know, you're in a buy. This is where you enter. This is your 10 pip take profit, right?
Right.
Market goes up. You put your stop loss in profit.
Mm-hmm.
Your money is secured, right? This
Right.
is still your take profit here.
Mm-hmm.
As the market go up some more, you take your stop loss from here and you trail it right below. This is your take profit. Goes up some more, you trail that stop loss here. And then bam, it hits your take profit, knocks you out of the trade, you made money.
Right.
If for some reason it came back down and hit your your stop loss, it knocks you out of the trade and you still made money.
So you wouldn't lose money?
You wouldn't lose money once that stop loss in profit. That's why this is so powerful.
Interesting.
Yep, it's like, so a stop loss is really what you're willing to risk. But if you're in profit already and you put your stop loss in profit, you're just risking more money. You may have, you know, made more money, but guess what? You're protecting your account.
All right. All right, I got it.
There you go.
Hey, David.
Go ahead.
Hey, man, how do we know it's going into consolidation with that cloud? That's the part that keeps catching me, man. I'll be in there, and then all of a sudden that consolidation will happen, and I'll be like, I'm stuck.
So what I would recommend, I think this is T, right? I think you came to my house I think you made it for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I would recommend for now. I would say if you can be patient with yourself and say, look, for the next couple of weeks, you know, I'm going to use one account only for impulse and impulse only, you'll see so much success happening. The consolidation, let me tell you how this whole consolidation training came about, or me creating the consolidation, is we used to have this contest, not contest, but we used to compete. Me and 3 or 4 other traders, me, Jamal, Jasmine, Lenencia, and Randy, that we used to actually call trades for the team, for everybody in the organization, basically to help them make money. And my only trades was impulses. And, you know, I would blow up the chat with a bunch of impulses, you know. So, you know, they would call, you know, they had market structure. They would call trades for like 100 pips, 200 pips. And I was knocking at 10 pips at a time or 4 pips in profit. You know, so for me to actually compete with them is when I actually created the consolidation, basically trading any time of the day. Because the market is moving 3 ways. The market is moving up, the market is moving down, and the market is moving sideways. So when the market is moving sideways, that means it's consolidating. That means you're going to find highs and lows in this area, and basically you're going to enter the trade, you know, in the trend of the market. Well, guess what? Sometimes you have a breakout, and it breaks out the opposite direction of your markups, and you tend to lose. And when that breakout happens, it usually breaks out with an impulse. And when that impulse happens, you're seeing 70 to 100 pips or more, and bam, you know, you're stuck in a trade or your account is blown. You know, so, you know, the consolidation is good to learn, but, you know, it's going to take some time, because that's where you have to master, you know, the indicators that I use, you know, or any indicators you use, you know. So, you know, I would recommend, to see consistent profit, just follow the impulse strategy, you know, and you don't even have to wait for the signals. You can trade impulse by yourself, you know, but use one account for impulse only, and then use another account, or you can use your demo account and back test consolidation, you know, until you master it. Because even now, you know, for me, it's, you know, sometimes it's still challenging when I'm calling trades when it's consolidating. Yeah, consolidation is scalper's paradise because you can eat all day long, but it's the most riskiest part of trading is when you trade in consolidation, because when that breakout happens, you better be on the right side of that breakout because you can lose money really quick. So that's where you have to fine tune the indicators on the RSI, the dips in the cloud, the red line crossing, below or below, above, the trend of the cloud. That's where, for me, it's like, hey, I got to pay attention to what's going on in the trade. So, recommendation is practice the consolidation in your demo account, trade live, with the impulse, because the impulse is going to correct, and remember the market is not going nowhere. The market is here to stay. If the market crashes, this is probably going to be the last days of our lives, because for everybody to function in the world, you need money, and money is currency. The stock market could crash, but the foreign exchange market ain't going nowhere. So always remember that even if you catch 1 or 2 trades, per day or per week, as long as you're making money, that's all that matters. Even if it take you weeks, as long as you're making money, that's all that matters. So don't be in a rush. Don't chase the market. Just have control of the market. And having control is, knowing your strategy, following the strategy because you're confident in the strategy, and then you basically, bam, you jump in and you make that money and you're out. That's being confident in it. But the consolidation, man, that can get you. That can get you big time.
Yeah, David, I have a question about the consolidation in the cloud. Since we're talking about it, if it's okay, I'll ask you now.
Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for everything that you've done for everybody. I think I speak for everybody on that. I've only been trading now for about 2 weeks on my own. I've studied your videos, and I feel like I've pretty much caught on to your strategy, but obviously I'm new at this. But what I've noticed in the trend, and my question is, I know I've heard you talk about using a 15-minute chart, and also you look at the other 5-minute charts here and there, and it's not like you're just using one. When I've been following your strategy and looking at the 15-minute chart and simultaneously looking at a 5-minute chart on another screen, I've noticed the trend going up through like the pink cloud, and it always comes back down through the green cloud. And especially in trading view, you kind of get a heads up of as that cloud kind of gets smaller and it flips to the green, you kind of know in advance where it's going to go. It seems like most of the time it's consistent. It comes up through the pink, it always comes up, and it always comes back down through the green. But the charts look different in a 15 and a 5. So do you use the 5-minute chart while your 15-minute chart and those candles are running to kind of give you a heads up where it's going?
So the average scalper uses the one in the 5-minute. The reason I use the 15 is just because this is something I started with. And when I started, I was following my mentor, Dr. Kathy Kirkland, and she was basically training on the cloud. And like I said, it took me 3 months before I even understand what I was even looking at. Every morning I used to jump on her train and I would see this cloud and I was lost as daylight. Like I didn't know left from right. I actually got blessed to go to, she had a training here in Dallas, Texas, that my buddy, he was supposed to go to the training. He paid for it and he didn't make it to Dallas. And I got lucked out and I went into that training. And that training changed my life, looking at the cloud, and everything, that she was looking at on the, the cloud was on the 15-minute. So that got drilled into me, a lot of things like 10 pips and dip is all Dr. K, so some of the things that I do and say, came from, where I learned. I look at people right now like, Jennifer and Lyndon, they took my scalping strategy and add their own twist to it. But then some of the things they're saying came from the scalping strategy. So it's like, it's the same thing. We're just passing that information. So, the 15-minute is what I was drilled into, not because of what I knew, I knew how to trade when it drilled into me, is because that's all I was hearing or all I was seeing when I was following Dr. K. And I just carried it over the 10 pips in the 15-minute time frame. And, when I decided to scalp, because I wanted to, come up with my own strategy on trading any time of the day and, following something that I felt like I was profitable in, I just kept the 15-minute with me, because that's what I was taught when I first started. That's like if a kid learns how to walk, and they're walking, one left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, and then all of a sudden, you try to teach them how to walk backwards first. Like, you can't take away what they learned first in the beginning and try to, especially if it's working, so it's kind of the same thing. The average scalper uses the 1 and the 5 minute. Now, I do take a glance at other time frames. The larger, y'all couldn't tell me my lips are white and look like Tyrone Bigum's. But yeah, the average scalper uses the 1 and the 5 minute, but you basically, the bigger the time frame tells the bigger stories, but every trade I go off of is usually 15 minute, but hey, if you can, find better entries and use the 1 and the 5 minute, that's you can use that. If it's working, back test it and take advantage of it. But, that's just something I've came into. Like, a year ago, February of 2018, I probably couldn't even spell Forex. I didn't know nothing about trading. So, I mean, just honestly, I put it on everything I love. February of last year, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
2 months ago, I didn't know anything about this.
Exactly.
But I read EKGs for a living, so
and see what you guys have right now. There, so I mean, and what you guys have now, man, is you have people, unselfish folks that's willing to pour into you guys every single week. I mean, and I got it. Like I say, this is what I saw Dr. K doing, and I always, every call she used to jump on, she would have a coffee, and I used to, when we check in and shouting out where you checking in from, I always used to say, hey, when you come to the Bahamas. She probably didn't know who the heck I was, and my job was, hey, I wanted to be like her, in the trading space one day. Didn't know it would be like this, but, it's kind of the same thing. You just kind of, carry over what you was learned, so all of those long early mornings that she was doing, calling trades for her team and, didn't have to, just think about it. If you know how to trade, you don't have to share this with nobody. You can go and trade by yourself and make tons of money without sharing it. But this was something I always wanted to help people, and this is what she was doing. And, I said, hey, I just carried it over to now. And look, I'm kind of doing the same thing, not on her level, but hopefully, I'll get there one day. But yeah, 15 minutes is what I learned from Dr. K. Not really what I've learned, but what I've heard over and over and over, and what I've seen over and over and over. So I was like, hey, that's sticking with me. It's working. That's what I'm going to use. The cloud, I don't even need the cloud to, like somebody said, that you don't need the cloud to calculate 70 to 100 pips. But guess what? Cloud stays on my chart. That's just what Dr. K, I always used to see. So that's just something, that, originated with me, But yes, I think I was long-winded on that answer. Sorry about that, buddy.
That's okay. So do you think that then the correlation for the cloud on the 15-minute chart is a good thing to follow in your strategy, as far as if you're scalping consolidation and you have a 5-minute chart, which obviously tells you the candles in between, because you're getting 3 for every one, that the direction it's heading based on the uptrend or the trend that is following through the cloud on a 15, but using a 5-minute for scalping the consolidation, because you get more information in between that 15-minute window. But in the long run, if you get into a trade, at least on TradingView, I've noticed you get a much better almost prediction of what it's going to do when those lines cross, the pink cloud turns into green. I know it's going to come up and go through that cloud, but if I'm scalping consolidation on a 5-minute chart and reading those candles, I know I can hold out. Do you think that's a decent strategy? Have you used anything like that before?
I've never used it, but we can back test it. That's the best thing to do in this market, is just back test it. If you bucked up to something that we haven't noticed, or that somebody haven't really seen or back test, you take that bug and you look left in the chart, That's how you back test. You just look left in the market, and you can go back test for years and years and years. And guess what? You'll be able to see it because numbers don't lie. You know, facts it happened before, so there's not going to be erased. So you can go and you can back test what you're seeing, you know, and if you back test it at least 100 times, hey, that's your strategy. You can come out and say, hey, look, I can see what's about to happen before it even happens. From, you know, what's going on with the 1 in 5 minute with the cloud. So that's what I would challenge you to do, JP. Go ahead and back test it, and then, you know, keep track of it. Have a trading journal every time you do it. If it hits, bam, you write it down, write your entry, write your TP, and you check it off.
That sounds good. I'll do it. It's been working for 2 weeks. It's been nothing but profit on that. So
there you go.
Brand new, and I don't want to make a mistake, but I'm open to suggestions. But I'll keep track and let you know how it goes.
Come back, and then we can put it in something. You know, I like.
I'd be happy to share it.
There you go. All right. Anybody else got questions? You're welcome.
I just had a question pertaining to back testing. So when you back test, you're only looking through records and you're testing your strategy against what the market has done in the past?
Yep.
And there's some type of, maybe not a mathematical equation, but some type of pattern that can form if you back test any strategy. But if you find one that's profitable, that's the one you want to go with?
Yep, that's the one you want to go with, the one you're making money when you back test it. And so here's the thing. Sometimes, even with this impulse strategy, sometimes, it hits before you even, see the next candles, because remember, the candle is moving up and down in the market, as it's happening. So that correction could possibly hit before it even goes in to the other candle, the next candle. So yeah, back testing is really looking left in the market and basically going over, what you learn. It could be any type of strategy. It could be scalping, swing trading, whatever, you name it. You look left in the market, you go back, and you basically, you test it out. You look and see, what happened in the past.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, David.
No problem.
Hey, David.
Yep.
Okay, on my Trading View, because I got the Trading View Pro now, so Paul helped me out with that.
Hello.
So, yeah, thank you, Paul. Paul, I finally got the settings and everything set up on the Trading View. So, question, because I know when I'm looking at this chart and I'm practicing it on my own, don't too much worry about the TK crossing and the cloud and everything. So would it be safe to say just open up a new chart? Just open up a new chart and just use the one I have saved from when I'm using the alerts and I'm looking for all the indicators and stuff like that, and just open up a new chart if I'm just practicing the impulse just naked, like a naked chart.
You definitely can, because the impulse is just calculating the pips.
Okay.
So yeah, you definitely can.
Okay.
So the other indicators are more or less consolidation, not really impulse. Impulse is just, the impulse to correction. You catch the correction.
Okay. Yeah, that's simple. That's simple. That simplicity.
Yep.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Do you have? Because I know I'm listening to you. I'm gonna have to go back to this recording. But do you have a teaching like a recording where you're teaching people how to do all the things that you're saying? Which is I've been passed over so much stuff by children and everything that stopped me doing stuff. But just when it comes to like reading the lines, the red line, the blue line, the back testing, do you have like a recording that has that you can teach me like your whole system, like how you do everything?
Definitely, man. You could go to my YouTube channel, or you can go to Mr. GJ TV. Go to MrGJPipWalking.com and in Mr. GJ TV, I have where I separate the two strategies. I have the impulse strategy. I also have the consolidation strategy, all recorded, and I also have them where they're combined. So, all in one. So you can pick, choose, refuse, listen over a few times, and they're all there.
Okay. All right, I'll definitely take that. Take a look at that. Thank you, man.
Just make sure you have time, because and some of them are like an hour, 2 hours, but it's going to be.
That's fine. I'm ready to learn, man. Like I said, I'm ready to learn just one strategy for now, and I appreciate you because really looking out for us in a big way, and I hope that God gives you more abundance of what you got going on, man. Because you're really looking out for us in a big way, man. That we can't even not unappreciate.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, and then just to add on to that, like who was that earlier? I'm good with names. George. You remember he said that he's been following for about 3 months, and every time he watches the video or the training, he learns something different or he hears something different that he didn't hear the first time. So it's okay to go back, even if you watch it. It's okay to go back and listen to it again, because you may have missed something the first time that could actually help you the second time. So I think that was George who said earlier, but yeah, it's okay to go back and keep on, perfecting it. I mean, impulse is going to be, it's going to be real simple, easy. I mean, anybody, beginners, newbies, anybody that's new, I've had I signed up, who was it, Raquel Cooper. She just basically signed up, this week, a couple of days ago, and already catching on to enter and exit in the trade, stop loss, and all that stuff, man. You know how long it took me? I was writing down on a piece of paper, calculating, adding and subtracting on a piece of paper, trying to figure out what the heck I was looking at. It took me almost 2-3 weeks before I could even plug in stuff correct. And you got folks that's doing that in days. So all we're doing is we're keeping it simple. So anybody, as long as you put some time and effort into it, I can't come and do it for you. I get messages all long, hey, can you trade my account? I got thousands. Can you trade? No, I ain't about to trade. I'm trying to make my own money. But, we got people that can actually trade in days and hours. We try to simplify it, so anybody can come and learn how to trade. At least.
Okay, so tell me the website again before we get to the. Tell me the website again. What is the website?
MrGJPipWalking.com. I think somebody can type in the chat for me, please. And once you do that, Mr. GJ TV is where all the recordings are at.
I have a question.
We've also tagged a lot of the links to the YouTube videos already in the chat. There's a lot of tags to the YouTube channel already in there.
Yeah, I had left the group because my children. So when I got back in, I lost everything.
Okay, they just posted in the chat for you, so you can get.
I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna check it right now. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
No problem, buddy.
Sometimes
Who's that? Go ahead, Michaela.
Sometimes the signals will say like 1 hour or 4 hour. What does it mean?
On the signals from where?
The anonymous, or if people send signals in, sometimes they'll say like.
That's probably the time frame. That's the time frame that they're on. So, like for example, I look at the 15 minutes. So on the 15-minute time frame, that's the signals that you're getting from mine. Or if it's the 1 hour, that's probably what they're looking at. They're the reason they're telling you that is that's so you can look at that time frame and see exactly what they're looking for. Why they call that trade, and that's the time frame they're getting it from. Does it help?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, David. I have a question.
Go ahead.
This is Tracy. Okay, so do you normally see, for the London Open, do you normally see that candle or a candle shortly after it opens go 70 to 100 pips per night? Or
it just depends on what's going on. If you have news, the London session is usually the most volatile, session that I've seen for GJ. But it just depends. If news is coming out, then yeah, it can potentially happen. When it happens, or sometimes it's after the news comes out where you get the reaction from what was said or what was done in the news. So it's usually around that time. You never can tell the exact time. Even when news comes out, you never can tell that you're going to have that impulse or movement around that time. It's usually in the vicinity, in that area, in that in that space where you have a lot of movement. But London session, between 2 a.m. to like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. is where I see the most movement in the market, and that's Central Standard Time.
So you'd have to sit and watch between 2 and 7 to see if there's going to be an impulse? Is that basically
well, now here's the thing. You don't have to sit and watch. You get a notification, and you just check it when you get that notification. But if you actually want to, see it, and in the future, guys, once we get this thing, up and running, like I said, we're still dealing with the lawyers, we're still, dealing with, the programmers to perfect this. You guys are still in the beta stages, but when this thing is actually launched and it's perfected where is, a game changer, we're going to sit and, because this is probably I'm going to probably walk away from my, my corporate America job probably this year on how things are going. And once I do that, I'm going to sacrifice, and we're going to be doing London sessions, where we can possibly make a whole lot of money in that couple of minutes on London session and then be done for the day, because the London session is where most of the impulse is going to happen. So we can jump on London session, hey, and we're done, and you get to enjoy your day, make a lot of money in the morning, and then we're done. So my goal is to hit Chairman 10 with iMarkets Live. Probably in the next maybe couple months. I'm, halfway there, actually more than halfway there. So once I hit Chairman 10, that's my, hey, deuces, I'm gonna fire my boss. And I'm walking away from multiple six figures a year, with my eyes closed. So, I mean, for me to do that, that's going to be a huge thing. I mean, you think you guys have, all access to me now, it's going to be game over. It's going to be so many millionaires that's created from this strategy. It's going to be a game changer. So, what you guys have your hands on right now is nothing compared to what me and Paul have lined up. Like, I mean, Paul probably going to mute me in a second, but there is nothing. This is just a little piece. And you already have a lot of success stories, being profitable in the market, people with first-time withdrawals, people making a lot of money. I had this guy last week message me. He basically made almost a year of his mortgage in 1 week. A year of his mortgage in 1 week from impulse and the strategy. And he was like, man, I just want to thank you and I appreciate it. But what you guys have access to right now is nothing. This is probably maybe 10 to 15% of what's in the lineup for what me and Paul already have lined up. Even people that talk to us every day don't know, like Andre and Jennifer. They have no clue of what's ahead.
It's time to mute you, man. It's time to mute you.
Okay, but
also, real quick on that too. If you're in any of the Telegram groups, Jen, and you're in the morning before he gets up, and you're waiting, and you don't want to just watch or whatever, and the signal hasn't gone off. Jen and I are usually up early, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time, and we almost always post that an impulse is forming, and we almost always post what the 70 pips will be. So you can see that before ahead of time. Sorry, David, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you good.
I'm sorry. That's generally morning that you said, or
we do that every morning. We do that every morning.
Okay, all right.
They're early birds. I like my sleep, Trace. I don't like to wake up. But
I got a quick question, right quick.
Go ahead.
Hey, so about the red and the blue line. So when the red goes above the blue line, it means it's a buy, right?
That's one indicator that it's going into a buy. Yeah.
So like, what other indicator? Are you just using that one in the cloud? Are you?
So remember, this is more or less consolidation. So with the consolidation, I go off of 4 indicators. I go off of the trend of the cloud. I go off of the red line above the cloud. Above the blue line, that means it's potentially a buy. If it's below, that means it's potentially a sell. I go off of the RSI. If the RSI is over 70, that means it's overbought. And if something is overbought, that means it's going to do what? Go into a sell. And if it's below 30, that means it's oversold. So if something is oversold, then it's going to do what? Potentially go into a buy. And then I also look at the dips in the cloud. So those are my 4 indicators that I use when trading consolidation. Impulse doesn't have nothing to do with any of the indicators.
Okay, I got you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Just to piggyback off what he said, David, like, because I had questions about this red and blue line too, right? Could you like show me, because I know you had a alert out today about like the red line going below the blue line or something like that. Could you just like right quick show me on the chart, like?
Okay. Now here's the thing: when you see that, that don't mean jump in the trade. That's just right now. That means just what we're just kind of take a glance at what's happening.
Right.
Okay? So let's see if we go back. This here is consolidation, so we won't even look at that. All right, so right here, let's see. Did it cross right here? No, where did it cross? That's the cloud. It crossed right here.
Okay.
You see where it crossed right here? The red line crossed below this blue line.
You can zoom in a little bit. I can't see too good. I wear glasses, so you guys gotta zoom.
You see this red line right here?
Yeah, I see it.
You see where it crosses blue line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cross here. Let's see, look for another. It's trying to confuse it with the cloud. So when it cross here, basically this is it here. If you follow it, it's coming down.
Right.
And you see what's happening? You see the downtrend?
Yep.
It stayed below, right? And then bam, it crossed here. Well, it actually kissed and then it crossed here. And now it started to move up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that? But now it's consolidating. So consolidation is really nothing. But same thing, we can back test this. We can go back. Let's see right here. You see where it crossed?
Mm-hmm.
And it crossed what? The red line crossed where?
It crossed the blue line and it started to go up.
Okay, and you see what happened?
Yeah, the candles them start to go up as well.
Exactly. Let's go back some more. This is back testing. Let's find another solid one. Let's see right here. It crossed, and guess what? You see what happened? It went up. Let's go up some more. It crossed over here. Cross where?
It crossed the blue line and it started to go down.
All right. So the red line is the signal line. It basically tells the story. So that's mostly what we look for in that. Now, like I said, most of the time when that signal goes off, you can still catch a couple of pips, but I recommend you do it on another account. Don't mess up with your impulse account. Use that only for another account. But if you can jump in for 5-10 pips on that and probably catch it. If you're using the stop loss and profit.
Yeah, that's what I did today. Like I didn't use it too much. Like I didn't stay too much with it. I just like you said, catch like a few pips off of it, and then I just came out. Like I just went in, catch like a few pips, and then I came right back out.
There you go. Any other questions?
Hey, David.
Hey, what's going on, Corey?
Yeah, good. I'm trying to set up my iPhone, that same red line and that blue line which y'all are talking about.
Okay.
I'm kind of having some difficulty in that. If you could help me out with that, please.
Okay, let's see. You have an iPhone. So go to, are you in MetaTrader 4 right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you see on your screen right now?
I'm actually looking at the 15 minutes chart for
okay. Do you see an F somewhere on your screen?
Yes, I do. Fibonacci or something like that? No.
Click on the F. I see you learning though, Fibonacci.
Well, listen, listen to me. I was playing with the demo yesterday, and I could see what y'all saying. It gets really addictive. Man, I didn't get any sleep. I got up. I pitched up like 2:30 in the morning. Like I gotta go see what the stock's doing. I was like, anyway, let's go.
All right. So tap on F.
Uh-huh.
And then what do you see?
I see Bollinger Bands. I see main window, Bollinger Bands, indicator window.
Okay, in the main window, I want you to click on that. You see an F plus? Now, I don't have an iPhone, so I'm going off of memory from helping somebody else. But do you see an F plus in main window?
No, I don't.
Click on main window and type in Ikimoku Kink Ohio, or look for that.
All right, cool. Okay. All right.
You see it?
I see that. Yes, I do.
Click on that. That's the cloud.
Okay.
All right. Click on done.
Okay.
All right. Now, because you have the Bullish bands on, that's gonna your screen gonna look kapunka like you're gonna look like a coloring book.
Yeah,
I
I want to take
usually
it off.
so yeah, you can delete the Bullish bands off for now.
Okay. How do I delete that? I'm just trying to get used to this iPhone. I'm
Do you
sorry.
see a delete button on there?
Bollinger Bands, delete. Yes, I do. No, I
Click.
don't.
He can
Yeah.
slide it left.
Slide
Yeah.
it left. There you go. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
And delete it
Oh,
all.
cool. Yeah,
Okay.
delete.
And okay, and then so that's gone. Okay, on indicator 1, you have the RSI, relative strength index.
Yes, I do.
So you're in action. You're good to go.
What color do I need to have that?
You just leave it. You can leave like that, or if you want to see it where it's more, where it's bright, where you can see, you'll have to go in settings and play around with the colors to your
Okay.
likeness. So that would be a personal preference on that.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then
now you have the cloud on your phone now.
I also see under the RSI, I see Bollinger Bands and that cloud thing.
You could delete that again.
Okay. Delete. Okay, so now I just have the main menu, the cloud, indicator window, relative strength, and the cloud again.
Take the cloud off on the second on the indicator 1. You want the
Okay.
cloud on main window and main window only.
Awesome. Awesome.
Hey, David.
Quick question. Do you have any videos up about how to use the cloud?
Mainly on the consolidation. I haven't really gone in depth on it. We could probably do that. We can probably do that in the near future, on everything I look for in the cloud. But, on the consolidation is mainly used for just the trend of the cloud and then the dips. That's what I use it for now. But, I've been able to look at some other things where it's actually, I've been back testing, like, the flat lines on the cloud, gives me the direction of what's going to happen in the future of the candles too. So I've been working on some other stuff, but haven't ever really gone in depth training of a cloud. But we do recommend a YouTube training about the cloud out there that you can probably look into also until I come up with one. I think Paul just posted.
Hey, David, would you mind showing us your screen real quick with the settings for your cloud?
It's just the default one. Just the default one. So
61326.
Yep.
All right. Thank
you. All right.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So this is a question about the trailing stop loss. So you said that you go in and you're moving the stop loss as you're catching pips. So this obviously isn't one that you can set it and forget it. How long are we watching normally? Like, would this be minutes or?
So here's the thing. So with this particular strategy, usually when you're scalping, it's happening pretty quick. You're not really in the market long. So some people, that if they want to set it and forget it, like I know Jennifer, sometimes she would set a take profit at 4 pips, just to make sure, like if she's not able to look at the phone, or the computer during that time, but 9 times, I would say 80% of the time the trades hit maybe in seconds or minutes. There are some, times where it actually takes longer, than, a couple of minutes. But, if you can't look at it, then just set your take profit at 4 or 5 pips. And then when that hit, that would be the time where we call the stop loss and profit. But if you can stay and watch it, then yeah. And with the trailing stop loss, Paul actually have me doing it where, I use my computer now to actually close out trades or actually put a trailing stop loss. Before, 100% used to be straight off my cell phone. And I used to be proud to say that. But it happens so quick when you use your laptop or desktop. You just click a button on the mouse and basically, bam, you're out of the trade, or you can drag it up or drag it down instead of modifying, and then got to type it in, and it's a lot quicker. So I strongly recommend, if you have access to using your computer, it's a game changer. You basically profit quicker, so that's just my little 2 cents on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, guys? We started off with 300. Now we at 190. So I guess everybody is ready to go.
Yeah,
But I'm here to tell you.
Quick question. Okay, so I got on the last part of when the red line crosses the blue line and it kisses and then it's downward trend. Could you just go over that one more time for me, please? And do I need to set it at a different color?
No, should be the default settings in there. And we also, so going over this would be, you can go to my YouTube channel or MrGJPipWalking.com, and Mr. GJ TV has the trading the consolidation. That's going to basically go over this stuff in detail because there's more to it than just these red line and blue line crossing. So I don't want to confuse you. What I would say is I go to that training, Corey, and then take some notes. And if you still have, questions on that, then you could hit me up and we'll go over it, one-on-one or however you want to do it. But, I would say because there's more to it than just those red lines and the red line crossing above and below. It's, more indicators that you would have to learn, like the RSI that you have on your phone, or the dips in the cloud. So I would say watch that first, and then we can actually, you can back test it where you can actually, like I did a few minutes ago, go look left and see every time the red line crossed below or above, see what the market actually did.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem, buddy. Anybody else?
Hello, David.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for everything you do, brother. Hey, I was Sunday was my first time hearing you. So I kind of missed some of it, but I got in and I'm just so excited about this. But I'm still in I'm not trading live yet, but I don't know if I missed something, but the alerts coming on Telegram?
Yeah. The alerts are coming in the Telegram, Mr. GJ VIP alerts. Are you in there? If you're not, okay.
Yes, I am. But I got a message. I got on there. But I got a message today about if I'm getting an email or something, not to.
Yeah. So somebody's. I don't know. We had a few people send it to me. Saying they was getting some spam emails. So I don't know. Somebody trying to mock me or spam me or, I don't know what it is. So that's why we send that message out to say, hey, if you get those emails, just delete it and block them. I guess, hey, we must be doing something good or something right that people are trying to spam and do what you're doing. So, that's a good thing, but yeah, if you get them, just delete them. The only time we would tell you, like if we're sending you an email on basically a form that you're filling out, like to have access to a Zoom link or something like that. All the communications are usually in my original trade and Telegram group.
Oh, okay.
David, let me clarify that also. If you get emails from us, it'll be from info@mrgjpipwalking.com. Anything from anybody else talking about Mr. GJ, you could ignore that. Okay. info@mrgjpipwalking.com.
Appreciate it.
Hi, David. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. And please don't crucify me if this has been asked already. I had to jump on and jump off with the kids. But that alert that you always say that you hear and you take off running to, where does that come from? Which application?
You just find something. You just find the most annoying ringtone on your phone. Every phone will have different alerts. But when you go into the notification, let me see. I'm gonna do it right now so y'all can follow me on it.
Oh,
it's in Telegram though, right?
Yeah, it's in you go to Telegram.
In Telegram, okay.
And then you go ahead and let me go to another group that I don't have access to so you can see. Okay, so you go to Telegram, and then you guys see you tap on the top, right? So like let's say for example you see to the top of the Telegram where it says Mr. GJ VIP alerts. You guys see that? Yes. Tap on it. Tap on that, and it's going to open up the screen. You're going to see the info. You're going to see the Telegram link. You're going to see notifications. All right? You're going to click on notifications. and then you're going to tap on it, and you're going to see customize. Hey, so for the 100 and something people that came off early, they probably missed out on this part. So y'all let them know they missed out. Do me a favor, when we're done with this call, everybody just go on Legacy or the Telegrams and just type in a bunch of ones. And that'll mess with their head. They're going to think they missed out on some money. But yeah, so if you see it, you'll see, like, can y'all see it? No. You'll see where it comes, the notification says turn on, mute for 1 hour, mute for 2 days, customize. You want to click on customize, and you want to enable customize notification. Are y'all with me?
I am.
Okay. If you're not, I can share my screen if you're having problems trying to figure it out. Okay, and then when you go to enable it, then you basically click on sound, and then you choose one, you just play with it. Find one that's annoying or something that you know for a fact you're going to wake up to, or you're going to stop what you're doing.
I'm sorry, Dave. Now, the Telegram that I have is the Mr. GJ Pit Walking Alerts. That's the correct, right?
Yeah, that's the correct one.
Okay, all right.
And then you should also be in my other Telegram also. Mr.
David,
GJ.
actually, he mentioned the regular one. I think he was asking about the VIP.
Okay.
The
Can somebody
VIP.
put that in the, do we have it to copy and paste to put it in here, or?
I just put the YouTube video because it's in the
Okay.
description of the YouTube video.
Okay, perfect.
The actual link.
Perfect. So yeah, just go to the description and then click on the link, and you'll go straight into the Signal group.
Oh, so the link to the VIP group is in that description?
Correct.
Yeah, so click, yeah.
Cool.
Go to YouTube. You make sure you subscribe. Click on notification, and then the drop-down box, the drop-down bar, you'll see a description, and then basically the VIP alert link will be there.
David, thank you so much for answering that question for me. When I do choose like the most annoying ringtone ever, just to be clear, that alert is going to go off when what happens?
When either you're getting, buy or sell signals, bearish or bullish, basically that annoying ringtone is going to go off, when it's time for you to get in a trade. And usually, buy or sell is what you want to look for, especially if you see bearish or bullish. But that's going to be a customized, like for that particular Telegram, you're going to have that notification.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So sorry, David. You were in and out. I'm so sorry about the YouTube. Could you just do that again for me while I go to a different screen?
So click on the YouTube link in the chat, and then I think you're not in the Telegram alerts yet. You should have been in there.
Which one would that be? I'm sorry.
The one where the signals are coming out, telling you to buy and sell. Are you in that one?
That's I'm on the money team. I'm on the money team, Bollinger Bands, and Mr. GJ Pip Walking. Okay,
so click on this YouTube link in the chat. You're gonna subscribe, and you're gonna click on notifications. So anytime we drop promos or we drop stuff, in the chat, in the YouTube, you'll get a notification saying, check, the YouTube channel. And then you're going to see a drop-down arrow. When you click on that, you're going to see the link to Mr. GJ VIP Alerts. You click on that, and you join that Telegram.
Okay. This is the 6x6 thing?
Not the 6x6, but that's the alerts that you're going to get from the impulse strategy.
Okay. I think I see it. Mr. GJ Alerts.
Click on that and you join it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
David, I have two questions.
Go ahead.
Do you recommend an auto trailing stop on the computer?
You have some people that do it. Paul, I think, does it, and Jennifer does it. Maybe they can, I don't do it. I just usually, if I'm in profit, sometimes I might just close the trade. If I'm 4 or 5 pips in profit, I may close it out just to, clear my mind, don't have to worry about a trade. Some people, Paul, maybe you can go into detail on that, on why you use the trailing.
So how I use it for the VIP alerts is the ones that come from just after the bullish and bearish alert signals. I wait for it to get into at least 8 pips in profit, and I set my trailing stop to be 1.5.
Oh, okay, that was what I was going to ask. Okay, 1.5. And the second question is, this Mr. GJ VIP alerts is free for just a week. Now, I am an IML. Will we have access to the other Telegram or?
So that's up, in debate right now. I mean, this week today we had some ungrateful folks, really, that, Paul had to calm me down, and took over. And like I said, I've personally spent thousands to get all this under control, and, to see that out, so initially, we did this so this can actually reach and help a lot of people. Eventually the plan is, for you to be an active member, of IML, and you'll have access to it. So, I mean, hopefully we'll keep it, after, maybe next week we may just put it for the money team, basically, just so we're not leaving any of those, because, that's my first priority, is for them, that basically said yes to jumping on, under, the organization I, started over there, to make sure. So we may do that for a week while we get with the programmers and try to see if we can get this take profit at it. Hopefully the bad apples don't ruin it for everybody, because, a lot of people don't know, like, this is a lot of, money coming out of my pocket and, time. So after this, we're probably, going to do active members. Who knows it? We may just do it again for everybody. We just kind of rolling it out while we wait on the lawyers to finalize everything we're doing on.
Well, I am an active member. I registered on the Mr. GJ TV website and submitted my page, but I just wanted to make sure I had access, later.
Yeah, so the game plan is, for everybody that's going to be active IMO to have access to it. Okay. That's the game plan for free, so, but we just sitting back and kind of, looking at things overall, because, man, if you guys y'all don't know the stuff we deal with on the back end of stuff. I mean, Andre got a taste of it, the last couple of weeks, but there's some folks that just don't like to see people succeed and, be happy, and not just me on the whole. Like, there's so many success stories coming out of you guys, and some just waiting for something bad to happen, or waiting for the time to just jump in and shut down everybody's, happiness, or, that light they have, so that alone is, kind of, we have a handful of folks like that. And then, a couple of weeks when we were saying, my vision is not just, for trades and y'all to make money, but it's, to give back, to communities all over the world from the charity of the organ. We do a charity every month. And some people are just donating just to have access to this signal. And for me, that was messing with me, because, people didn't just see the vision that I saw on a group of that's, going to be successful trading in the market, making money, to change lives all over the world. The charity stuff don't go to my pocket. I go directly to the charity of the month. And there were folks that was being mean and angry, like, hey, I donated, I'm not in the group. And we tell them, like, hey, this takes time for us to add everybody to the group, and for Paul to go through this stuff, hours and hours of time that he takes that he don't get paid for. And, so, and, it was like, I donated whatever amount, and I'm not in the group. We actually gave people their donations back. Folks that was being, so, messy and negative about it, because that's not what it's about, man. If you're gonna donate, you donate from the heart. See the vision we see, and we run with it. Not because you have access to this, you want to jump and donate. So it's all these things and factors we're looking at. That we want to make sure everybody have access, because this thing is fired. Like, it's good. So we're gonna make some decisions on how we're gonna go from this week on. Hopefully, it's not just me. Paul is actually the VP, right, Paul?
Oh man, here we go.
We legit, y'all, like we legit. Paul is the vice president, so, I don't make the decisions by myself anymore. We make the best decisions to make sure everybody, have, access to it. But man, y'all just got to pray for, the bad apples. Like, man, just pray for them. I mean, you guys witnessed some of that tonight. Just pray for them. And, if you see negative stuff that's, in the chats or, that wherever, just, hit them with positive energy. If you got one bad apple with negative stuff and you got, 20, 30 positive energy, comments that's going to wear out that, that's going to keep things going and just weed them out. We don't need that bad stuff, man. So that's how I deal with negative stuff. I just, make sure we have a lot of positive energy in the room and, that negative person will go somewhere else to go be negative. Because we ain't gonna have it, when you have a room full of positive people.
And you can, you guys, if you see it, you can direct them towards me and away from David and Paul. Direct all the negative people to Andre. Andre will make sure that we handle that appropriately and swiftly.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Casey.
Yeah. So how do you? I don't know if you answered this question already, but how do you tend to trade the news? I know there's a lot of high impact news coming out tomorrow. How do you tend to trade that particular news coming out tomorrow?
So with news coming out tomorrow, we're gonna leave it on, and we're gonna run through. We're pretty, sometimes when we really have like, major news, coming out, what we'll do is we'll actually take control over it, take it off of autopilot, like if you're in a plane, and the signals will still get sent to me and Paul, and then we would actually call those trades in the group just to protect y'all accounts. So stuff like that. Like if, Andre is the news guru. So if he say, look, man, X, Y, and Z is about to happen in the news this week, then I'll say, hey, Paul, let's make this decision. And bam, we'll take it off autopilot and we'll take control over it, and then we'll call the trades, ourselves in there. And that's just, my thing is, man, I want to see more people succeed. So I protect y'all as much as I can. But I think tomorrow. I mean, Paul probably, he's an early bird, so he'll probably be up. I'll probably set my alarm to trade early morning.
All right.
We should be good. Just remember the indicators and what to look for. I would say just bearish and bullish, especially if you see news coming out, bearish and bullish, and go in for the next candle.
All right. Appreciate that.
All right. Anybody else? I think we are.
Hey, Dave.
Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to know if I could take you up on that offer since I'm 5 minutes down the street from you.
I know it was coming. Man, as soon as we get all this stuff settled in, man, because, man, I've literally, been
If
lacking.
he coming, I want to come too. I don't know how far I am from you, but I'm in Dallas.
Hey, y'all, come on down to Denton. That's all you got to do. There'll be a flyer out. He'll be in Denton on Thursday. You can see him live.
I drive to Denton too, bro. I got free time. I'll roll to you.
There you go. We could drive together, man. While you driving in that traffic, I could be knocked out asleep.
That's
you mean slaughter Denton? Because it's gonna be traffic. So yeah, hit me up. I can you could scoop me up at the house, so I could come to you and drive to Denton, and that's where I could catch up on my sleep, or you could pick my brain on the way to Denton.
That's the deal.
That's it. So yeah, just hit me up Thursday morning, and we'll arrange something.
Okay.
You're not no reckless driver, right?
I'm good. Clean record.
All right.
I drove in California for years. I'm good.
So you're good. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Anything? I think we put in about 2.5 hours.
Right, quick, right?
Questions. Huh?
With the candle changes, like how often they change? Like every 15 minutes?
Yeah, if you're looking at the 15-minute time frame, yeah. So if you're looking at, let's say, an hour time frame, the H1, then every hour a new candle comes out. So it just depends on which time frame you're looking at. Whatever time frame that is, that's every of whatever it is, a new candle comes out. If you're looking at the month time frame, every month a new candle would come out. If you're looking at the 1 minute, then every 1 minute a new candle will come out.
All right, cool.
Yep. Peggy, I'll be in Florida May 23rd. We having I think Aurea, they having an event, so I'll be there training there May 23rd through the 26th. So that should be a Fort Lauderdale, so I'm ready. And then I know Nicole, we're talking about San Antonio probably in May. We got a lot of things lined up. If you guys want us to come in the market, just hit up Paul or, and then you have at least 10 or more people, we'll come and do trainings. We'll, figure it out. I like oxtail, so as long as we got some oxtail place to stay and transportation, then y'all got me. All right. Anything else?
Okay, so go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. Who's that?
This is Andre. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Go ahead.
Okay. I know this was addressed earlier. You went through it once, and I just really want to make sure I'm seeing it. I'm using MegaTrader 4, and I know you said hit the F. Now, I'm just going to tell you what I see on mine. I have main chart, then I see
What kind of phone you have?
I have a Samsung.
Okay, so you're gonna hit F. You're gonna hit main, and you're gonna hit F, and then you're gonna hit main chart. You see
right
plus to the far right.
I already have the. I caught you when you said the Ichimoku Kinko or whatever, however you pronounce it. So I have that. Is there anything else that's supposed to be showing during main chart? Because I had moving average. It was already on.
Some people, I use the moving average sometimes too. You can leave that on there. I just changed the color of it because the standard color is red, and I don't want it to be confused with my Tekinson.
Got you.
So just you could I have it like a dark brown or something where you could really tell the difference on there.
Okay.
And then on your then you could put the RSI.
And on the indicator window, I need RSI. I have that.
Yeah.
And that's all that I need.
Yeah, that's all I use.
Man, I sure appreciate it, man. This is such a blessing for sure. I'm glad I'm in on it.
No problem. I think Wanda just sent the flyer for Denton, so we'll probably be posting that in a second, guys.
Cool. Thanks,
All
man.
right. All right. Who was that? Had another question. Was that Corey? Where you at? Corey probably left. No, he's still there. Corey, you had another question?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just fiddling between these two phones, my iPhone and my Samsung phone. Okay, so throughout the day, I'm between the two, my iPhone and my Samsung when I'm to work, and I can't seem to remember how the hell do I get back into the IML Academy because it's always open.
You can type in IML and just log in. After you go into IML, just log in and put in your login credentials and your password.
Okay, now let's just say I forgot it.
You can open up the chat or check your email. Check your email or open up the chat and and basically give them your user ID, and then they can help you with your password or reset it.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, I got another question for you.
Go ahead.
I have this Ichimoku Hankinson or whatever on my chart on TradingView, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm tending to see some candles turn blue and some are yellow. What does that mean?
I mean, one should be buy, one should be sell. You can change the colors of the candle also. It's just up to you.
No, I mean, like, I do have the candles, red and green, bearish and bullish, but like some of the candles are just yellow and some are blue. I don't know if
Paul, can you answer that? Are they in the cloud?
It's probably in the cloud.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. So you can actually see
the colors are mixing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. All right, I see.
All right. Let's see, Christina. So when you come into the Bahamas, hopefully maybe next month, or if not May, for sure June. All right, so I'll be in the Bahamas shortly. I know Bahamas is on deck. Canada is on the lineup. Greece. I know we're gonna try to make something happen in Greece and Germany. We got a lot of people, so that, it's the quicker I get to Chairman 10, the faster I'll be all over the world traveling, helping you guys out in person. So we'll make it happen, y'all. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, someone said which island? Usually Freeport, but I can do wherever you at. We'll make it happen. Last time I went to Freeport and Abaco, we can make that happen. If I gotta go island hopping, I don't have a problem. London, I'm ready to come to UK. Let's make it happen. All right. So we're doing something on Thursday in Dallas. We're gonna post a flyer out tonight. Hey, make sure y'all type a bunch of ones in the Telegram so people can think they missed out on some trades. Let them regret leaving early. Type it in the Telegram, all right?
It doesn't let you type in the Telegram.
Not in the one, either Legacy Worldwide or the Money Team, either in those ones, I think, if you have access to those ones.
Oh, okay.
Sure, you grow 10% growth on the spreadsheet, but make sure you're using 20% of your balance in the beginning balance, all right? All right, guys, you have a great night. So we'll recap after tomorrow on the 6x6 tomorrow and see what happens with the impulse, and we'll just make sure if you have questions. Like I said, we're going to do this for maybe it won't be this long. Tonight we just had to get some stuff off our chest and make sure everybody knows what we have to do. But for the next week or two, we're going to use the 6x6 session, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, more or less to kind of train and recap and go over questions. Because we have a lot of new people that I promise you I won't leave y'all behind. But you just got to put in the work, you know. So we'll make sure you get what we need to do.
David, one last quick thing.
Great.
Well, one last thing, real quick before we head out. I just want y'all to know, because we got the flyer. First of all, the flyer is fire. Wanda did it. It's dope for Thursday. But second, Wanda Webb and David Hoyt will be in the house on Thursday.
Hello.
So if you in the Dallas area, hello. Y'all need to show up. All right, that's it.
All right, who was that? JR, you had something? Evelyn, I saw you in the chat. Let's go. I'll be in New York. Let's make it happen. Paul, you ready to go to New York, right?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it tomorrow.
I was just saying, appreciate you, DJ, Paul,
No problem, JR.
Dre, Jennifer. I appreciate what you guys are doing for everybody on this call and everybody that's out here making money. We don't take y'all kindness for granted. And I just want to give y'all the kudos because y'all doing a lot for a lot of people, and that's a big movement. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Appreciate it.
My man took the words right out of my mouth, man. I was gonna say the exact same thing. I know the energy, and I see it. I see the looks on your faces when you guys are exhausted and you're moving around, and it's taxing mentally. But the fact that you guys pour your heart out, you don't see that a lot. You get a lot of people that see, all right, man, look, we're on this call. You got an hour. Answer what you're gonna, ask your questions, and then I'm off. But you don't do that. So for yourself, Mr. GJ, I appreciate you, man. And I know you crack jokes with me, man. I know you got a question, and I do. But it's all for the betterment. It's for the fact that I want to understand, and it's not for here's a couple dollars so I can get into a group, or well, what do I need to do to shout you out to get into something? It's for actually genuinely wanting to know for the benefit of my family. So yourself. Paul, aka The Voice, Dre, Jennifer, all you guys, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do, more than you realize, because you turned my learning curve, and changed it. So I'm gonna continue to follow you guys, man. You lead, we got your back. Yeah, no, I appreciate Randy for even linking me up with you. So let's get it, man. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, man.
Nathan.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night.
I love you guys too.
We got Greece in Germany that's like 5 a.m. in the morning right now that's being on this call for 2 hours. So, mad respect to that too. So, appreciate for everybody that's been tuning in from all over the world, with different time zones. Who was that?
50 cash.
I want to know, which pairs other than G and J, do you focus on? I don't know if you said it earlier and I missed it, or
So at this moment, just GJ is what I'm gonna tell you. Just to play it safe. Just and it doesn't. You can choose one and just marry one pair. Just so you can learn it, and then after that, then you can move on to other pairs. But for now, just GJ is what I would recommend for you. Or just one pair. Pick one pair and just stick with it for a while.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to be posting the video on the YouTube channel sometime tonight. So for those of you all that missed most of it, you could recap.
Awesome. All right, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Good night.
Thank you.